Hi everyone, my name's Etem. This is going to be a tutorial for Fable Lost Chapters any %. This is going to be like a beginner style guide, so it's not going to use all the world record strats, but this route is sort of focused on I want to finish runs, I want to learn the game, I want to finish runs. So even if you've never speedrun the game before, never seen a speedrun, it will cover everything here. So this will cover everything right from the start of the game right to the end of the game. So starting off, what version of the game should I use? Like sometimes you use, oh, I need 1.0, Japanese, all of that. The good news is the Steam version works absolutely fine. There's one version of the game, which is the same version that's on Steam, which is absolutely fine. That's recommended. That's usually the place we say, if you want to run the game, go do it there. I'll go Alt-Tab because the game's a bit loud. Some other things to note. Normally, when you're like a sort of high level runner, you'll run the game in French just because there's some spoken dialogue that's about 34 seconds faster. I'm going to press start here. So you can see Steam version's the best version. It's normally run in French, which saves time. But starting out, I'd recommend learn it in your native language. For the most part, that's going to be English. Like learn it in English, get a feel for the run. And then once you've sort of got familiar with it, you can start playing the game in French. The good news is with French, a lot of the all of the strats are identical. There's no difference in the route, and a lot of things have a visual reference. So like you don't need to memorize the names of each area, sort of thing, because there'll be like a little picture or a little video, or like you'll see the place on the map, sort of thing. So it's not the hardest thing in the world to learn. We time the runs primarily using loadless timer. It's primarily done it with loadless, just because sometimes the loads can be variable and it's like different PCs and stuff. So for the most part, we use loadless. You can activate this in live split the same way you would any other run. So you would go right click. You won't be able to see this, but you'll go edit splits. And then there's just an option that says activate. You can also in there activate the auto splitter. So as soon as you finish a quest, it will automatically split for you, which is quite handy. So another thing that you might want to do is I might want to run the game in a window, because like obviously you might not want to have the whole game. You might want to have your splits, chat, all of that open. Good news is there is a way to do that using a program called DxWind. I won't be covering that in this video, but if you go to speedrun.com, and assuming this run is on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description of a guide on how to set it up for windowed mode. It's not too difficult. It's what I use personally because I play it in 4x3, the game. So you're more than welcome to use that. But if you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. This guide is all about options. Like it's very adaptable. You can use as much or as little of it as possible. You can look at a strat and go, I don't need to do that. I can go for the faster one. And if you can, by all means, go for it. And this route is very adaptable for that. So let's get into the game itself. So we've got Fable Lost Chapters, press left mouse button to continue. So starting out, assuming you don't have any profiles or you don't want to use your current existing profile, which I wouldn't recommend, you're going to go new profile. The profile name doesn't matter, I'm going to call this one tutorial. One other thing to mention, by the way, there'll be timestamps in the description of every sort of segment. So you'll be able to click those and it will take you to whichever segment you need, you want to learn. As well as that, in the bottom left corner, which you can sort of see going on, is my input display. So you can see the inputs I'm pressing. So this is just useful for like learning how to do certain strats. So I'm going to call this tutorial. I'm going to leave all of this as default. If you want to change that sign, if you want inverted, if you want arrow keys for some god awful reason, you can. So you go apply. The first thing I'm going to do is change the audio settings. This is completely optional. I'm just going to change it down to this because this is what I'm familiar and comfortable with. So I'm going to go apply. So there are a few things in here that do affect the run. So we've got gameplay options right here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off follow camera. This is technically optional, but it just means that the camera won't auto center when you move. And that's sort of like handy for me because that means that I don't have to keep sort of fighting the camera. The only difference is having it off can cause a crash in one area, but it's quite rare and it's very easily like fixable. Like it's not like guaranteed. A main option you will want to turn off here is subtitles, and I'll show you why. But basically, when there's text that you can click through with the left mouse button, when its subtitles are on, you'll have to click twice, and that doesn't sound too bad, but it has to sort of load the subtitle, and then you have to click to the next line of text. With this, you just click, it goes just straight to the next line of text. That saves a whole bunch of time. Tutorials you'll obviously want off. This just is like extra like notifications that you have to click out of. There's no reason for them to be on. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you've already played this game before. If you haven't, I'd recommend you play the game once casually first. Even if you don't, this should still be sort of quite like you should be able to apply this, and like as long as you like sort of semi-familiar with the game. Guildmaster help, that's completely optional. You might want this on just so the Guildmaster can tell you when your health and mana is low, just in case it's a bit hard for you to keep track. I'm going to turn it off just because I'm already used to it. I've heard the Guildmaster before. Interface tooltips and target lock, that's completely optional. I'm going to hit apply. So video options. This is kind of optional. So normally I just have all of this turned up. I don't have effects detail turned up higher than this just because it can cause some flickering. I don't have it lower because then it makes the water really ugly. The only option that really makes a difference for the speedrun is the resolution. I run it in 1024x768, sort of the default 4x3. If you want to run it in a different resolution of your liking, that's absolutely fine. One thing I would recommend though is not to go higher than sort of 1920x1080, so 1080p. And the reason being, all of the UI elements don't scale when you sort of increase your resolution, so they'll be the same size at 1024x768, 1080p, 4K sort of thing. That means that at a higher resolution you'll have to be moving your mouse across more, so that can obviously lose a little bit of time. I keep it in 1024x768. You can go sort of really starting out whatever you want up to about 1080. Anything more, then it becomes a little bit difficult to keep track. Like, I like it because I can sort of see my health. It's not sort of tiny in the corner of the screen sort of thing. I'm going to hit apply. That's all okay. So redefine keys. This does kind of make a difference in the speedrun. The first thing you'll want to change most likely is this block button, because blocking along with the movement key will allow you to roll, obviously. And you're going to be doing this a lot throughout the run. Like, it's sort of the joke that Fable is nothing but rolling. But middle mouse button is not a key you want to be sort of pressing throughout the run, especially for me. Like, I'm using a Logitech G903. The middle mouse button is very heavy. I don't want to be spamming that throughout the run. That's going to be horrible. So you're going to want to probably rebind that. If you do want it as middle mouse, that's absolutely fine. But I'd recommend, like, for instance, I know Clean Sarah, he has it as the E key. I have it personally as the R key, so R for roll. Haha, very good joke. But it just means that it's quite close to the W key. It means I can still access everything else, and it's easy to like press repeatedly throughout the run. I personally swap interact and target lock, but that's completely optional. Most of these are completely optional. One thing I'd recommend also is changing from suck experience orbs and activate spell mode. I'd recommend putting these as different keys just purely because when you activate spell mode, it means you can't run or roll or anything. So that means that when you're taking experience orbs, it means you'll be slowed down. So obviously you don't want that. I normally have it as this key here, which is just a mouse button on the side of my mouse. I put reset camera, that's obviously undefined. I'm just going to put that as a key far away. I don't actually need it. Context sensitive item 3, you're going to be using this one throughout the run quite a lot, which is your potion button. So I put that as something quite close to me. So I put it as Perseus caps lock, which is also bound to a key on the side of my mouse. So that's actually me pressing the side of my mouse, but it's also bound to caps lock. That is fine, but just as long as you don't have like 20 different binds all set to one key sort of thing, just to note. Everything else is mostly fine. You can change around this if you want, but for the sake of this demonstration, I won't. Sneak mode, I'll change that to control, just to keep the game happy. So I'll hit apply. Cool. So I believe that is all of the settings. So you're ready to start a new game, but this is before you're actually starting a run. So I'm going to move this to before you start. I'm going to click new game. So I'm going to skip this cutscene, skip past this text, and the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything, and this is what you should do as well, is hero save. And this is basically going to be what you use to go through the game. So if I go through escape, you can see that 0 hours, 0 minutes is going to put you at the start of the game. So this is what you'll use to like load the run. So in terms of like resetting and stuff like that, it's not allowed that you go to options load, because this can cause some like stats from your other saves to carry over. So if you do need to reset, just go options, quit. Are you sure? Yes. And you just go continue game, and that'll be fine. Another thing not to do is to hit change profile and start changing to other profiles, because that can also cause stats to carry over and it will invalidate your run. Basically, just as long as your run has continue game, clicking this load, you should be fine. So let's load into the game here. And yeah, skip this scene. So starting out, obviously, as I mentioned before, rolling is like the sort of optimal method of movement compared to running. This is running, and this is rolling. So you're going to be wanting to sort of learn how to roll, because it's kind of difficult to get in a sequence. But basically you want to be holding the sort of forward movement key, and then pressing the roll key. And sort of starting out, you'll want to get a feel for this. There's a sort of nice little loop you can do around the map here to sort of learn how to roll. It's quite simple, it's just about getting the timing down. The thing you don't want to do is be spamming roll like that, because even though it might look fast, it's quite like difficult to keep a sort of momentum going. You can do that if you want, but you can see every so often I'm stopping, or you can see it's like it's not exactly that fast, and it's going to ruin your wrist before you know it. So it's there's two ways that people normally roll. There's the sort of single tap method, so you can see I'm holding W and then just tapping R, and this one requires sort of good timing, but is easier to sort of learn. I know a lot of people do this, even Raheem, who's currently the world record holder as of the recording of this, he uses single tapping, I believe. The thing I use is double tapping, so I go double tap the R key, and then that just ensures that no inputs are dropping, even if my timing's slightly off. It means that my rolls are guaranteed. But you're just going to want to sort of get a feel for this. Like start doing laps around Oakvale, just to sort of get a feel for it. And this is what I do normally before starting runs, just to get the timing down, make sure my consistency is good. Obviously this will change as you sort of get other techniques, and like as you level up your speed stat, which will change your rolling speed. But starting out, you can just sort of do rolls, learn how to turn with it, because you can't just do like a perfect turn like that. Otherwise you do that. Like you don't want to be side rolling. Like you see if I do that and then try rolling in other directions with a sharp turn, it's not that fast. You don't want to be pressing the A and D keys to roll, or the backwards. You want to be going forwards. Basically you want to be doing this forward roll as much as you possibly can. Just get a feel for it, learn how to do the laps, take your own time. It's not completely required, it's not like you have to do laps or anything, but it will help you out, and it will mean that your consistency is a lot better. It's just a good idea to get a feel for the movement.
You'll race yourself to an early grave, you will.
She's right. So if you go options and quick game, so what we'll do, that's pretty much covers everything for before you start. You're sort of good to go now. So what we can do is we can load save one, and we're good to go into the game proper. So, bear with me just 1 second. We're going to load save one, and this is what you would do if you're starting a run. So this is me starting my first run. You go skip the 2 cutscenes. There is a glitch that can sometimes happen there where you can't skip the cutscene properly. If that happens, we're not exactly sure, we're not 100% sure why, but if it happens, just quit back to the main menu and try again. It's not often, but it does occasionally happen. I know it happened to Clean Sarah not too long ago when he was recording a tutorial, so just bear that in mind. But for the most part, you're fine. So you're going to skip past this first bit of text, you're going to turn to the left and go forward, and then you're going to start rolling towards this bridge. Because we need 3 gold pieces to buy chocolates for our sister. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to beat up a bully, which gets a teddy bear. We're going to give the teddy bear, and then we're going to take a bribe from a husband who's cheating on his wife. So you're going to reach the end of here, you're going to target, and then you're going to hit him 4 times.
I'm sorry.
And you're going to skip this cutscene.
Here, I'll let you look up.
And you get your teddy bear. And then you're going to want to roll down here. So you want to skip cutscenes with escape, and then click through text with left click.
Right.
You go make your way up this hill.
Hello, lad. Say happy birthday to your sister for me, won't you?
And then you go press the 1 key to give the teddy bear to your to Emily, sorry.
Tracy, come.
And then skip through this text. And then you're going to want to carry on. Speak to Brom, your father here.
Well, so.
Skip through the text. And actually I can show you here why we have subtitles subtitles off instead of on. So if I have it on, I'll show you what it looks like.
Do some.
So you can see I can't really skip through the text that quickly, whereas if I have it on, you can see how quickly I can skip through that. So we're going to head this way, around this lamp, around this corner. The roll can be a little bit finicky, but you go speak to this guy. What you can also do, you can use left click to get through text, as well as like your interact key. So I can use left click and tab, and I can spam both. And then that skips through the text really quickly. And you're going to want to roll backwards and then roll down this hill here. Going down this hill, you're going to want to avoid all the villagers. At this point, you've taken a bribe, so you've committed a bad deed. So that means the guards will, if you're nearby, will start chasing you. This is kind of RNG. This guard here, it should never get you, but there's 2 guards that way that might get you. If it does, it's a few seconds lost. Don't worry about it too much. It's not the end of the run. It's not the end of the world or anything. If it's your first few runs, you're more than welcome to carry on. It's not going to affect anything in the run. You're not going to lose a minute later on. It just loses a couple of seconds. So most of your ideas that you want to sort of be rolling it around the guards, sort of not going near them, because if you're right near them, they'll instantly catch you. But I'll show you that in a bit. But you're going to want to go up to this trader, interact with him, and you go buy the sweets. And you're going to turn this way and you're going to roll. So this is the first guard that can catch you. If he's facing your direction, he might start running directly. You can see. So this guy's going to be slightly nearby. And
Look, there's a little swine.
that's what it looks like when they chase after you. But you can outspeed them with rolling, so you don't have to worry about them catching you. It's just basically about that first instance.
Hello, little
So
brother.
we've got Teresa here. We're going to skip the cutscene. We're actually going to say no to giving the chocolates. And then press the 1 key just because it's slightly faster. And then we're going to roll here. And she's going to say, wait, there's something wrong. You go skip the cutscene, skip that. And then you're going to roll up the hill here. There's kind of a sharp corner, so you might want to stop a little bit just to sort of get your bearings. You're going to want to roll down here to the left side. And then that's childhood done. That's the first quest. You're going to want to skip all these cutscenes. So the guild here is a little bit more difficult to roll in because it's a lot more closed off.
It's time to wake up.
But it's not too difficult, so you can roll through here and carry on rolling down the stairs. Sort of take a little bit of a right and then a little bit of a left. If you want to, you can sort of go through this pot, but if you don't want to, you can go around it. It's completely fine. It only loses like 1 second. And then you go towards the guildmaster. As soon as you see the interact thing in the corner, you can press space.
All right, lad.
Skip the cutscene, and then you want to just click and hit the dummy 7 times with your fists.
Not making much of an impact.
You want to skip the cutscene, get your stick, skip the text, and you go want to get your stick out and just hit it 7 times again. Nice and easy.
Ah, now that's more like...
And then you want to use your absorb experience orbs button and just sort of walk towards it. And then you don't have to click continue, you can just press escape to skip past this. And before you get to the guild woods, it's probably best to take your stick out. You want to go past this rock, up the hill, and just into guild woods. So we'll be fighting the beetles here. The best thing to know is not to swing your stick like all over the place randomly. You want to sort of calculate your hits a little bit rather than just sort of clicking in the hopes that you'll hit things, because the beetles are a little bit annoying in that they fly around and they can you can miss your hits, and it's quite annoying, but you'll get an idea of it sort of as you start to play it. So you want to go up the right side of the hill. Up here you want to see the first beetle, you're going and kill it. Ideally you want to be getting as many in a single hit as possible. We'll see if we can get any here. Doesn't look like it. So it's 3 on each side. As soon as you kill 1 here, 1 will spawn here. Or if you kill 1 here, 1 will spawn here. So ideally it would be you kill 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and then 1 here. So you can see I killed 2 in 1 hit. That's ideal. and then you can skip past that,
Well done,
and then you're
lad.
going to want
The
go
beetles
down
are
the
all
right side.
dead. You can come out of the woods now.
That's you going to be finishing the childhood phase, and you'll become an apprentice. So he says, do you want to become an apprentice? You're going to say yes.
Get out of bed, lazy bones.
This spot is a little bit difficult to maneuver in, so it's completely fine to start running here, and then you can start rolling down the stairs. You can run down them if you're not too confident, and then you go run around this corner just because it's a little bit of a tight turn. There's going to be a bunch of apprentices here, but you can just sort of avoid them. If you need to start running, that's completely fine. So, go down here, speak to the guildmaster again. Nothing much to it. And this is going to be
You
like
can put that
the
on.
melee training sort of aspect of the run. So what you're going to want to do, you click past, go as close as you can to Whisper, target her, hit her 4 times, or 3 times, move forward a little bit,
Ah, lucky
and then move
shot.
forward a little bit and hit her
Now pay
1
attention.
more time. You can get it in 4 hits, move forward a little bit, and then hit her 3 times. It's a little bit risky, but you can try that. But normally, starting out, I'd recommend 3 hits, stop, move forward a little bit, 3 hits, stop, move forward a little bit, 1 hit. This is going to be the blocking phase, so you're going to want to block Whisper's hits, and there's a sort of sequence to it where you're going to roll into her, and that's just going to make it so that she's not too far away, because if she's too far away, you have to wait for her to walk forwards. So if I click through this, skip this, target her, roll forwards, and go roll forwards. Wow, this is completely weird.
You
block.
can't stop me every time.
And you're going to want to
Well
basically
done.
make sure she's as close as possible to you. I'm going to pause that. That was a little bit weird, but the sequence that you've got in the notes in the corner there, so you're going to roll towards her, block her hit, roll towards her, block, roll towards her, block again for the 4th one, and then roll towards her, and then you'll block the 5th hit. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but sort of you'll get a feel for it. It is a little bit random. And speaking of random, this battle is a little bit random, but ideally you want to be hitting her 4 times, wait, she'll flip, and then you'll hit her 3 times, but I'll show you that. So you're going to go close to her. 1, 2, 3. She'll probably flip. If her back is exposed, you can hit her 4 times. That's fine.
That's all
That bit's
wrong,
completely
Whisper.
random.
You need
Well, not
to
completely
practice
random, but it's a
more.
little bit random. So
Shame you couldn't
you'll
see
sort
me
of get a feel
fighting
for it
you.
as you get the hang of the run. So you say, do you want to repeat melee training? Absolutely not. We're going to want to hit continue.
Then meet me by the archery range.
So we'll skip this cutscene. We're going to speak to the guildmaster. We're not
Let's
actually going to do
continue our
most of this
training
training,
with
so we're
the-
going to skip the cutscene, get the bow. So all we need to do is hit 3 dummies here. 1, 2,
Now lock onto the target.
3. Then you're going to skip the cutscene, skip through this text, and then rather than actually doing the test, because that takes like a minute, you're going to want to just hit the guildmaster 4 times, because right now the guild has like a 4-strike rule. If you hit an ally 4 times, you'll get in trouble. But during these tests, it will just let you skip this completely, so that saves like a minute. So that's really good. So you're going to want to 1,
Aggressive action.
2,
Action will be taken.
3,
This is your
4. And he says, what do you think
What
you're
do you
doing?
think you-
Skip the cutscene, but then that's the training done. So that's that done. So we're going to carry on.
Next, we will learn about the ways
Skip the
of
cutscene, speak to him again. That saves him having to walk all
It's
the way
time
there.
to learn about
We're going to teach her about wheel training. So the best way I use lightning is to hold shift and then left click. So go shift, left click, hit a dummy. He's going to say, see how many you can hit in 30 seconds. All you're going to do is use your lightning once to start the timer, and then as soon as the timer starts, get your bow out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That saves 30 seconds, similar to the last one. So skip that cutscene. You want to repeat the wheel training? No, we don't want to
Very
continue.
good.
Skip the cutscene. Do you want to carry on and do the final stages? Yes, absolutely.
Before you
Skip all these
graduate,
cutscenes,
there is-
then go up the hill. This is going to be a sort of mini like test against Maze. All we need to do is hit Maze 7 times with our sword, 7 times with our bow, 7 times with magic. It's quite easy. There's a little bit of RNG involved in where he teleports to. So you can see he teleported to quite a bad spot there. But just go near him,
Come on!
get as close as you can, move forward a little bit every so often. Move forward. And then you're going to want to target him just so you know where he's teleporting to. Hit him at distance 7 times with your bow. Nice and easy. He's going to teleport somewhere else. He's probably going to teleport again at this point. You can see, even though he's out of sight, we're still targeting him. So you just go shift and spam the left click. You don't hold
That's
it down.
enough.
It's better to just like
Yes.
tap the left click and then let go as soon as the hit goes, and then that just makes things a little bit faster. So we'll go past this rock here, into here, and that's going to be the last stage of guild training. One thing you'll want to do here, so if I skip all these cutscenes,
Let the apprentice.
is you're going to want to free up a slot, because the spell we're going to be getting is Assassin's Rush, which is going to be movement based. What I'll also show you now is there's certain hotkeys for like opening the menu. So escape obviously opens the pause menu, but if you press F4 it will take you straight into the items menu, and that's a really handy hotkey, so you'll probably be using that quite often. So Assassin's Rush is just again a movement technique. I have it set to the 3 key, so you're going to want to free up this 3 key, and then that means that as soon as you get that spell it will go straight to that first key. Okay, remove that. And you can press escape to skip through these menus.
First,
Go into the
you
upgrade
must select
menus.
the area you wish to advance in. Strength, skill, or will. Notice your experience pool.
So let me just
you've
get
chosen
Guildmaster
will.
to stop talking.
You
But,
could be a powerful magic user.
let's wait for
You
it to
can
finish.
use your experience from magic combat to learn new spells and improve those you already possess.
Thanks,
Choose
Guildmaster.
one of the branches of magic.
Basically, with the menus, you can navigate them using WASD. Like I'm here, so you can see I use the D key to move into the menu, sort of like here.
Now choose the spell you wish to learn.
You can also use your mouse. So basically, you're gonna want to be doing sort of like a combo of the two. So if the menu is selected, you notice it doesn't deselect when I move the mouse. So that means I can just keep pressing the D key. But you'll sort of get a feel. Again, you'll get a feel for it. This is like something that's not new runners don't necessarily struggle with, but it's something that will take a little bit of a while to get the hang of, but it's not too bad. Like, you're not going to lose the run because of bad menuing sort of thing. So you're going to want to hit will, physical spells, and you're going to want to get Assassin's Rush, hit by. You don't actually need to hit it, it automatically selects it because it's the first option, so you can press the C
Notice
key,
your experience
and then you can
pool's
press the
going
escape
down.
key, and that'll
There is
cancel
little
it.
else for me to teach you.
So that's that done. That's that quest done. We're done with the guild. Fantastic. Go skip this cutscene. It will auto-save. As soon as that happens, you're going to want to move forward a little bit and speak with the or interact with the map table, and you're going to take your first quest, which is Wasp Menace, right here. Hit take quest, and then you go on Assassin's Rush, which is the 3 key. So that's an Assassin's Rush, you can see there. And basically, the movement technique you'll want to be doing is using a rush and then roll. So it'll be Assassin's Rush then a roll, Assassin's Rush and then a roll. And you'll be wanting to use that in sort of like in tandem, and that's going to be the movement technique for the next sort of little bit of the run. And again, you can sort of learn to practice it, get a feel for it as you go along. It's not too bad because it's sort of that's why another reason I have roll as sort of a familiar key, so that way I can have it as 3 roll. I'm not having to move my hand at all or anything like that. I have to basically move one finger and that's it. So return to game. We're gonna leave the guild, and you're going to be wanting, this area is quite open, so we can rush, roll, rush,
Following the
roll.
gold markers on your map will lead you to your quest.
He's going to start some text, so you can just skip that with left click.
I used to be someone,
You know, avoid all of the sort of foliage on the left. You're going to sort of stick to the middle of the path and enter the picnic area. And this is going to be the start of the first quest. So it's a very easy quest. You're going to skip this cutscene, skip the quest prompt. You're going to zap the first wasp, shift and left click as soon as you get in. And again, while shift and left click again. Oop. And it's going to kill the one that's spinning around the, chasing this villager here. Then from there, you're going to want to take out your sword and start hitting all of the other ones. The idea, you want to get as many in a single hit as you possibly can, but it's not the end of the world if you can't. And then you're going to take out your bow, cutscene will start. As she's, so let me explain the Wasp Queen. Every boss, or most bosses in this game, have sort of like what's called a health threshold of, they can take a certain amount of damage. As soon as they take that damage, they won't be able to take any more damage. They'll start doing a thing. It's either an animation, they'll spawn more enemies, a cutscene will start, or something like that. The Wasp Queen is like that, so we can only do a certain amount of damage to her, and then you have to wait for her to spawn more wasps. But ideally what we want to do is to go start spawning wasps. We're going to want to charge our bows as soon as that starts. You're also going to want to avoid the wasps, make sure there's none in your way, and then just hit her with an arrow. And then kill all the wasps while you're waiting. So you can see she spawns more wasps, that means she's going to be hit again, so you want to get up close, target her, and just finish her off with your sword. There's not any rhythm to it, you can just literally spam the left click, finish off the rest of the wasps just so they don't hit you. And that's the first quest done, you don't have to do anything else from here. That's that quest done. Skip that cutscene, quest complete. That's you moving on. So you're going to want to go to Barstone, and you just leave the picnic area and go through Lookout Point to get there. This is where you'll sort of learn to Assassin's Rush a little bit, because there'll be a lot of Assassin's Rush. You're going to want to roll here just because otherwise you can see sometimes you can accidentally rush towards that guy, so it's better to roll there, but then as soon as you get past there you can carry on. And then you notice your wheel's low, so you can use your one potion you've got and carry on. You only have one wheel potion, so it's recommended you don't use it before, you only use it here, otherwise you won't be able to rush anymore. So carrying on here through the bridge, you're going to want to roll past the guard, because you can see when I'm highlighting an enemy it will rush towards them, so that's obviously not ideal, because that means if I'm here it'll be rushing towards them instead of forwards. If I'm right in front of an ally or an enemy, it isn't necessarily anything, but if I'm targeting someone, as soon as he stops I can demonstrate this. Oh, he's walking this way. But if I target him and then rush, you can see I go behind him, so that's both a benefit and a drawback, because that means if I'm behind it means I can rush backwards towards him. They're both here, so I can't really demonstrate it, but you'll see what I mean. You'll get a feel for it. So enter Balstone South. There's a cutscene. He says you're new here. Ignore that. You're going to want to go backwards towards the trader, interact with him. Do you want to trade? You're going to say yes. What we're going to do here, essentially, breaking it down, is we're going to buy an item in bulk and then we're going to sell it back for a profit, because traders, they have a certain amount of stock on an item. As soon as they've run out of that stock, they'll pay more for that item. So what we're going to do is going to go to buy using the D key, items using the D key, produce, and we're going to go apple pie, buy all. No, we're not going to do that. You can sell that if you want. What we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to sell items. We're going to sell all of our potions. That's going to give us a lot of starting gold. Then we're going to buy all of the apple pies and all of the grain sacks. That will put you down to a little bit of gold. I mess it up a little bit, but you'll have enough gold for both apple pies and grain sacks. And then you want to go to sell, and you go to sell that all for a profit. You can see my gold is now 3,700. Made some profit. Using this, we're going to go back to buy. We're going to buy some potions. We're going to buy a fishing rod and buy a spade. These are going to be useful for later on in the run. They won't be necessary now. Excuse me. They won't be necessary now. There is a backup if you do forget to get these, but for the time being, buy them here. It's nice and easy. They're nice and cheap. If you're a little bit worried about dying or like getting hit and stuff, you can go and do buying and sell items again. So what I can do is I'll show you that in fast motion. So you go buy items, produce, buy all apple pies, buy all grain sacks, sell all grain sacks, sell all apple pies. That's how you do it quickly. And then from there, you can do that twice if you want to, and that means you can buy some health potions if you really want to. The main route doesn't do that, but if you do want to do it, if you're really worried about getting hit or dying, you can get them. So I'll get them here just because I've got a surplus of gold. That's completely fine. And then you can skip through. You don't have to keep right clicking to go back in the menu. You can just press escape, and then we're free. We'll go roll up towards Maze.
Over here.
Speak to Maze.
Been enjoying all.
Skip this cutscene. And then what we're going to do, we're going to roll up, talk to this trader here. You don't actually need to walk around the thing. You can interact with him. As soon as you see the green thing, that's absolutely fine. You can interact with him. It says, do you want to trade? You're going to say yes.
To the right place.
So the first thing we're going to do is going to sell our U longbow here, just because that means it will unequip it. Because we're basically going to upgrade our bow, get a nice super strong bow. But if we don't sell this, it won't automatically equip. So we're going to sell this. It also gives us a little bit more gold, so we can sell this U longbow. That's that done. We're going to buy weapons, ranged. We're going to buy an ebony longbow. Normally, oh, nice. Normally, that would put us down to only about a couple of gold sort of thing, but you'll always have enough. There probably won't be, as long as you did the buying and selling correctly, there won't be a situation where you don't have enough here. So that's completely fine, and then you can exit out with escape. Let's say you can't use this in the town, that's fine. Skip through it. From there, we're going to carry on into this house here. And what we're going to do, just before we get the item here, is we're going to free up a hotbar slot. So again, we can press F4, just free up a slot, and this is going to be for a potion, and we're not going to want to use it until a specific point. So it's recommended not to have as a key super near the Assassin's Rush, just in case you accidentally press it. So I'm going to remove the 9 key, and this is going to be where you put where the potion will go. So it's nice and far away. I have to deliberately press it if I want to go anywhere near it. So remove the 9 key, escape, and then go roll up these stairs. They're a little bit finicky, so if you want to run up them, that's absolutely fine. And then go interact with this. It'll give you an Ages of Might potion. What this does, it gives you 1000 XP times your combat multiplier. So we're going to want to use that when we have as high of a combat multiplier as possible. And then we're going to teleport out. There's 2 ways of teleporting out. There's a slow way, which is charging up your guild seal with G, and you can do that if you really want to. Or there's the fast way, which is you press F4, you go into other, and interact with the guild seal. This saves about a second or 2 per every time you do this, which doesn't sound like much, but when you're teleporting like 20 or 30 times in a run, that can really add up. But to do that quickly, that's escape, other, guild seal, use. Or if you really want to, you can charge your guild seal with G. That's absolutely fine as well. We're going to go back to the Heroes Guild and take our next quest.
Now this one
I
looks
just want to skip past this cutscene, don't worry about it. Interact with the map table, which is where we're going to get our quest. There's 2 options, protect and attack Orchard Farm. You'll always want to go for protect Orchard Farm. Attack Orchard Farm is super slow, it's super risky. There's basically no reason to do that in any speedrun. Excuse me. To go protect Orchard Farm and take quest and boast. And this is just going to put us outside, and that just saves a little bit of time rather than having to go outside. So this is going to come up, we just skip it with right click, and then that goes away, and then we can move normally. So we're going to avoid all these guys, not worry about them. And we're going to go up into Greatwood Entrance. This map here is a little bit difficult to rush in, just because there's the wasps in here, and the wasps are incredibly fast. Like they'll always catch up with you. So for the most part, you're going to want to be mostly rolling with occasional Assassin's Rushes. But I'll show you what that looks like if you don't. So from here you can Assassin Rush, but as soon as the wasps start following you, you can see as soon as I'm rushing, I'm not actually going anywhere. I'm only going backwards, which isn't handy. So you're going to want to start rolling from this point on. An optional potion you can get right here, which will give you more will energy, right over there, is recommended just starting out. So if we go here, we're going to open this chest, and that's going to give us a Will Master's Elixir. So skip that, and then we can go into the menu with F4, and we can just use that. And that's going to give us a whole bunch more mana, and it makes it handy. If you want, you can pick up the rest of the potions, that's absolutely fine. Again, you don't have to. The current, like, high level route doesn't get that, but if you do want to do that, that's fine. And then when you're sort of comfortable enough that you don't want to do that, that's also fine. We'll go roll up this hill. You can see the wasps are always following us. They're always catching up with us. They're really fast, so don't bother Assassin's Rushing. There's no point. So go Assassin's Rush here. It's a little bit difficult to Assassin's Rush on the bridge here. You can see it sort of ate my Assassin's Rush a little bit, but you can still do it if you want to. You can see what happens there when you get a bad rush. The wasps here will sometimes follow you like they do here. If they don't, you're more than welcome to rush up. If not, it's best to just roll. It doesn't lose that much time. It's maybe 2 seconds total. So we'll get into Orchard Farm. So I'd say, apart from one quest, this is probably going to be one of the more difficult quests. But once you get the hang of it, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's basically just about not getting hit. That's your main objective, is not getting hit and timing. So we're going to skip the cutscene. Skip the quest start thing. We're going to take out a bow immediately. And then we're going to charge our bow. So you can see these guys all coming down the hill. We're going to hit them as soon as they come down the hill. As soon as the string is pulled back, you're going to want to hit them. and then you're going to absorb the XP, because the XP is super important here, because we're going to be using it to upgrade a bunch of stuff. As soon as we kill the first bandit and sort of make our way up the hill, we're going to target one of these guards here, and we're going to zap them with lightning, and that's just going to keep our combat multiplier from dropping in between the waves, because there's 3 waves of 3 bandits. In between the waves, we can just zap the guards, and then at the end we can kill them, and that just gives us a little bit more XP, a little bit more combat multiplier, and it stops it from dropping. We're going to target them, give them 1 zap, wait a little bit, give them a 2nd zap.
Look out! More
As soon as they
bandits!
see more bandits, turn around, charge your bow, start targeting. This one guy here is probably the most dangerous guy, because if he fires an arrow and it hits you, you're going to lose combat multiplier. But for the most part, as long as your timing is right, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But this might be a bit that you have to practice a little bit to get the hang of. So I'm going to release my arrow. He doesn't take as much damage, which is nice. And then we're going to kill this last guy.
Right behind
Taking all
you.
the XP. Target a guard. 1 zap. 2 zaps. Turn around, start charging my bow.
Some more bandits
Kill the
are
first guard,
approaching.
first bandit, 2nd bandit, 3rd bandit. That's ideally how it should go. If you don't kill them all the way, that's fine for the most part. We're going to kill our guard friends here, because they've outlived their usefulness. And that's going to give us 12 multiplier. The goal here is to have either 11 combat multiplier or 12 combat multiplier. That's sort of your goal combat multiplier. Anything less, and you sort of start to get a little bit risky with XP. But 11 or 12 is recommended. 11's fine, 12's recommended. But once you hit 12, you're going to use your Ages of Might potion. That's going to give you 12k XP.
So,
So Whisper's going
you've
to come
learned some
here.
new moves.
She's going to want you to
Go
flourish.
on.
So the first thing you
Try
want to
to
do
hit
is
me with
flourish.
that
Hit her. Right click to
So
flourish.
you can do
And then you're going to
that.
want to pull back the string
I'm still going to beat
and hit her
you
3
though.
times. So as soon as the string's pulled back, let go. And there you go. Nice and easy
Damn.
fight. She didn't even get
You
close
beat
to us.
me again.
Skip the cutscene and start making our way. That's quest complete. Cool. Good job. So rather than going straight to the next quest, we're going to go to Greatwood Colorscape purely because our next quest takes place there. So rather than going to the guild and backtracking, we can go straight there. It saves a bunch of backtracking. We can rush all the way up to about here where this trader is. At that point, you're going to want to start rolling because you can see all these wasps here.
Some
So
bandits
rush and
have set
roll,
up a toll
rush
in
and
this
roll,
region.
rush and
Be
roll.
careful.
I hope you got the gold they want. These bandits.
So as soon as this
Give us
bandit
that
is,
fun.
you see this bandit here, you're going to want to kill him because if you speak to him, it starts dialogue. That's slow. You can just kill him. That will aggro all of these guys here, but you can just avoid them. You don't have to kill all of them. Just kill this first bandit. It also gives you a little bit of XP just in case he was cutting it close earlier on. But just kill him with your bow.
That's it. Rip the
And take his
swine's
XP if you
arms
want.
off.
It's recommended to put away your bow just because then that way they can save some assassins rushing. There you go, where you're rushing as soon as you get near to a bandit. Avoid them a little bit with rolling just so you don't dash backwards towards them, but now we're at a safe distance, we can start rushing. So we enter the Greatwood Colorscape. We don't actually need to go any further. We can go straight back to the guild from here. So teleport, so we can press F4, other, guild seal, and teleport to the guild. Rush forward, go to the map table, and we're going to take Trader Escort. We don't need any of the other quests, we can just escape. It will auto-save, that's completely fine. So we're going to go, and we're going to get some upgrades from here. What is also recommended, you don't have to do this, you can do it slower if you want to, but what's also recommended is if you press F4 to remove about 1, 2, 3, it's recommended to remove 3 slots on your hotbar, just because the spells will be populating here, so it means you don't have to go into the menu and manually set each spell. So I'm going to remove 2, 4 and 5 personally, that's me. So we could go into the XP pedestal, and we're going to upgrade
Physique
to 3.
allows you to do more damage in
This
melee
is going
combat.
to allow us to carry
and
heavy
carry
weapons
heavier
and do a
weapons.
bunch more damage. We're going to
Health
upgrade our health. This is
increases
optional.
the amount of
We don't do it
damage you
in
can
the
take.
sort of high level route. But I'd recommend it starting out because it doesn't lose, it loses like 2 seconds and makes the run a whole lot safer. So upgrade this also to 3. You can see we've got plenty of XP, and this is going to give us a whole bunch more health, makes things easier. And we're going to go to skill.
Its speed makes you
Upgrade
quicker
speed
in
to
both
2.
ranged
We
and
don't need
melee
anything more.
combat.
Even though we've got the XP for it, we don't need any more. And then we're going to go to wheel. So attack spells, we're going to upgrade multi-strike by 1. We're going to go back, we're going to upgrade magic power by 1.
increases your capacity for storing mana.
We're going to upgrade summon by 1, which will come in handy in just a second. We're going to go back, physical spells. We don't need physical shield just yet. We'll get berserk, which is very handy for movement, so we'll buy that. And then Assassin's Rush 2. And see, we just have enough, so we're mostly okay. So this is why I'd recommend 11 combat multiplier, because I had 11 combat multiplier. For the most part, you should be fine there, but sort of get a feel for it. As you get better, you'll do this more. At the very worst, if you are very low on XP, you can skip out on magic power. You can undo 1, especially if you've got the Wheelmaster's Elixir. That should mostly be okay. And that will give you 500 more XP to play with, so that means you can get 10 if you really wanted to. So escape out of there. I'm just going to move my spells, so just swap them around so they're to my liking. But you can see they've all populated here. So rather than go straight to Greatwood Colorscape, we're going to take a short detour here. And we're going to go into the Chamber of Fate. So a lot of people might be familiar with this glitch already. We're basically going to get the Sword of Aeons really early on in the game. So just roll into here, enter the Chamber of Fate. So what we're going to do, there's a very good reference for this. What we're going to do is we're going to use Summon, and then we're going to use Assassin's Rush, and that's going to clip into the floor, because just under the floor here is a Sword of Aeons, which is super handy, it's super useful, it makes the run so much easier. Why wouldn't you get it, sort of thing. So there's a really good reference for this. So you see these tiles here, what you're going to want to do, the tile just before the stairs, you want to stand just so you can see there's almost a line here. You're going to want to stand just so your feet are just barely in front of the line. This is a little bit too close. So if you want to adjust yourself, you can. You're going to stand there, use Summon, and then walk into it a little bit with the D key. It's going to push it downwards a little bit. If you need to, just shuffle it around a little bit. This is a pretty good position. You can see it's partially embedded. And then you're going to want to Assassin's Rush from the front. And you can see clip into the floor. Again, there's a tutorial on that by Valiant North, which I'll probably link in the description. But get a feel for that. That's probably one of the tougher clips in the game, if not the toughest. But as soon as you use that reference, things will become easy. So we're going to pick up this Sword of Aeons. And that's going to be obviously super broken, super handy throughout the whole run. So if you press F5, that'll take you straight to the weapons menu, which is really handy. So we're going to go melee weapons, equip it straight away. And our summon is on a timer, and we're going to use it in a bit. So we're going to actually kill our summon, or it already disappeared, so that's fine. So as soon as you've killed your summon, you're going to teleport with F4 to Greatwood Colorscape. So we've got the Sword of Aeons. That's going to make life so much easier. It's going to be great. So entering Greatwood Colorscape. From here, we needed a Wasp in order to clip with that first one. It only works for the Wasp as far as I know, or Ghost Sword, but that's outside the scope of this tutorial. What we're now going to want to do is have our summon kill another creature to take that form, because we're going to use that to clip through a few other gates later on. There's 3 possible enemies that can spawn here, or technically 4. There's bandits, there's hobs, and there's wasps. There's also technically beetles, but you shouldn't ever actually see those. So you're going to want your summoned creature to kill either a bandit or a hob. If there's wasps, completely ignore this area, go straight into Greatwood Caves. But if there's a bandit like there is here, you're going to want to kill one of them. Carefully. If you kill 2, that's completely fine. There's more up here. You're going to want to go up close to one, use your summon, and then your summon's going to hit it. Generally, starting out, you'll want to keep an eye on that. You can see that's now killed it, so we can carry on. Sometimes that can be a little bit annoying. Your summon creature can sometimes take hits, but again, you'll get an idea for it as you start to play the game. So from here, we've got a new movement technique, which is Berserk. And this increases our rolling speed. You can see we roll a lot faster now. So our new movement technique is going to be rush and then roll twice. So rush, roll twice. Rush, roll twice. Excuse me. So we're going to carry on into Greatwood Caves. If there was wasps in the previous area, you can get a summon creature here because hobs will always spawn here. But if not, you can just carry on straight into the next map. So we're going to start Trader Escort. So skip the cutscene, skip the text, rush through to go straight past him.
You will find the Chapel of Scorn.
This movement, it's very easy to get a little bit stuck on this, you can see here. So make sure you're sort of sticking to the middle of the path. This guy's going to appear here. Skip the cutscene. Says, will you let the trader follow? You're going to say yes. And this is just for some RNG manipulator. If you really want, you can hit no. But for now, we'll hit yes.
Thank you, hero. I'm very
Skip the
grateful.
cutscene. So go rush, roll. For small areas like this, it's not worth it to berserk. It's only for like extended maps that you'll want to be berserking. So you're going to want to roll towards this guy. And then you're going to want to berserk. So rush, roll twice. Rush, roll twice. These spores can be a little bit dangerous. Assassin's Rush has iframe, so if you Assassin's Rush, you won't take any hits. If you're really scared, you can use lightning to take care of them. I was a little bit too close there, so don't do that. But if you really want to, you can use lightning to take care of it. That's completely fine. So berserk here, rush. Take down this middle path. But for the most part, you don't need to worry about these guys' health. I only, that last guy is only close to death because I was waiting around for ages. But you don't actually need to worry about keeping an eye on their health. You'll be completely fine. So as soon as we get to the camp, we're going to want to skip some dialogue. So we're going to kill this first guy. And then we're going to kill... Oh, no, that guy. This guy. So we're going to kill the yellow-hatted guy and the infected trader. And this is going to skip some dialogue here. So what we're going to do, go straight to the entrance. Wait for him to start following, so you'll see in the green dot turn around and start moving towards you. As soon as it does, you can close your mini-map. Go straight into Ancient Colorscape. Just berserk down here, just pure movement. Normally you would want to berserk here, but you're not going to berserk here just because it will scare the trader in the next map and he won't follow as quickly. So just rush and roll, don't worry about berserking at all. I sometimes still make the mistake of berserking here, so if you do, it's not the end of the run. You might just have to wait a little bit longer. So coming up here is the Earth Troll boss fight. We're going to kill him with berserk. So skip the cutscene. As soon as he throws a rock, use berserk. Roll towards him. Target him. Assassin's Rush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he's dead. By this point, you're going to want sort of around here on the minimap. You won't be able to see it, but as soon as the trader is like around that corner, like that big U-turn, that's when you want to go around that corner.
We made it to Barrow Fields. Follow me.
We're going to rush down the hill here. And that's going to be quest complete. So skip text. What we're going to do is we're going to be doing some trading in the next map. But obviously it's nighttime, so all the shops are closed.
You will find him in Oakvale Tavern.
So if you go here
It seemed
and
rather
use
urgent.
digging, you can dig up a golden carrot, which will change it straight to daytime. So we go into the menu, produce, use a golden carrot, and now it's daytime, and that's great. So we can now go straight into Oakvale and trade. If you do forget to do that, or if you mess it up or whatever, that's completely fine. There is a backup where you can go into the tavern here and just sleep on one of the beds. It's a little bit slower, it loses about 30 seconds, but if you do really need to, that's your backup. That's a sort of like recovery from that. But coming in, you're not going to want to berserk, you're not going to want to Assassin's Rush, you're just going to want to roll straight towards this guy here, because if you Assassin's Rush or you berserk or anything, you're going to scare him, and that's going to give you worse deals. So interact with him. Says, do you want to trade? We're going to do a similar thing to last time. So we're going to buy gifts, and we're going to buy all of his perfumes, and then we're going to sell it back to him. And then we're going to do that one more time. And that's going to give us enough gold that we can buy, so we can buy all of his emeralds. We can buy all of his emeralds, sell all his emeralds, and then we're going to do that one more time. The goal amount of gold here is about 47,000. Well, that's a sort of minimum you'll need is 47,000. We're at 51,000, so that's completely fine. Before you go, make sure you pick up potions. So items, potions, buy all the wheel potions. Make sure you go buy all, so he has none left in stock, and that's going to see you going for the next sort of part of the game. Now we can leave that menu. We've got 49,000, more than enough. Speak to Maze.
Ah, there you are.
Skip the cutscene. While that cutscene's starting, you sort of start making your way towards the clifftop path, because rather than going straight back to the guild and taking the quest, we're going to use summon to clip through some of these gates. It sounds very hard, but there's some really nice, easy references for it. And there's some great tutorials there by, I believe, KJ and Clean have both made tutorials, and I'll link those in the description. Then we'll go straight up towards this gate. So the reference I use is, you can see there's a little bit here where I'm sort of wedged in. You're going to want to sort of get wedged into there, look to the left, so go into the left here, and then you summon. And you can see our creature is summoned into the gate. I'm going to Assassin's Rush, and that's going to clip me through the gate. Again, you'll get a feel for that as you sort of learn the run, but that's the reference I use. It's super consistent, it's super easy to do. That's how you clip through it. And that's going to clip through the gate, and that's going to skip a whole load of fighting here. It sounds really difficult, but it's actually going to make the thing a whole lot safer. They're going to berserk. Movement's a little bit tight here, so you might have to do some sharp turns. As soon as you get up to these stairs here, as soon as you see this bit here, you're going to want to go into your menu, and you're going to want to free up a hotbar slot, because we're going to be getting an Ages of Skill potion here. So you're going to want it on your hotbar ready. So free up a slot. This barrel on the left here, you're going to want to zap it with lightning. It's going to give you an Ages of Skill potion. It's a little bit difficult. You can see it's quite easy to get stuck here, but a roll should get you through there. And then go on, berserk again, and carry on through the map. You don't need to worry about opening any of the chests, getting any of the bandit gear, and you'll see why in just a second. So we're going to enter Twin Blades Camp. And then we're going to go straight into the Cuz Gate back to the guild. You can teleport if you really want to, but it's a little bit slow. Going straight into the Cuz Gate is a bit quicker. So rush, roll, roll. I'm going to take the quest. We don't need to do anything else. We can go straight back into the Cuz Gate, roll, rush, into Twin Blades Camp. And what we're essentially doing is we're starting the quest halfway through, so we don't actually need to do any of that fighting. We don't need to speak to that guy to open the gate. The reference I use for clipping through this gate is to sort of stand about here. So you basically want to be parallel to this sort of metal bar here, sort of standing right in the middle, to the point where your hero is sort of looking at it, and then summon, Assassin's Rush, clip through the gate. Nice and easy. Assassin's Rush, so from here we can berserk. Make sure another hotbar slot is free up on our thing, because we're going to be getting another potion. So straight down the path here, straight towards, make a beeline for this first barrel here, zap it with lightning, Ages of Will potion. So there's two ways of going through this next map. You can either summon clip straight there, and I'll show you how to do that, or if you want to, you can kill this guy here, and he'll give you a bandit pass. If you're really not comfortable with summon clipping there, you can get the pass, it only loses a couple of seconds. So go up the hill here, up the stairs. If you did get the pass, you can talk to him and it will open the gate. If you didn't get the pass and you want to summon clip, what you're going to want to do, look to the left so you're parallel. Your hero is looking right at the gate. Summon. And then you're going to want to turn sort of towards the gate. Look towards your summon a little bit and then rush. If that doesn't work, try summoning again. And you can see he's sort of partially in, partially out. Like you can see half of it is highlighted in blue, half of it isn't. Look towards him and then rush, and that will clip you through the gate. Again, there's a full tutorial on that, but that's the way I use. So rush, roll. Make sure another hotbar slot is free. If you really want to, you can free up all hotbar slots as soon as you get the Ages of Skill potion. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'll free it up one at a time. This left barrel here, zap it with lightning. Might potion. And then go straight up the hill here and clip through this next gate. And this is basically the last required clip in the run. There's one optional one next in a little bit, but it's not required. It only loses about 10 seconds. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But this one is the exact same as last time, so look to the left, summon, look right, Assassin's Rush. So we've got the Twin Blade fight, and this fight is sometimes a little bit challenging with this route, but it's not too bad. And again, you'll get a feel for it. So what you're going to want to do, he's on a timer right now. His sort of gimmick is that he jams his sword into the ground, and that's when he's vulnerable. And you're going to want to basically be doing as much damage as you can to him in that short amount of time. So we're going to be using Multi-Strike and Berserk, but you don't need to hit him at all. So what you're going to want to do, use Berserk, let him hit you a little bit, and this is going to increase the damage you do with Berserk. And you've got your health potions if you need to, but you can't die in Berserk. So if you're really worried, don't worry, you can't die in Berserk. The only thing that's a risk is if a bandit hits you as the cutscene's starting, but if you stick in the middle, you should be fine. So he's about to jam his swords into the ground, so I'm going to Assassin's Rush. Now it's a little bit off with the Berserk, so if that happens, just Berserk again, and try it again. If you really don't want to get hit, you can just Assassin's Rush behind him, and just hit him. Skip all these cutscenes. Turn, do a 180, rush past this bandit, and start Assassin's Rushing. So because we started the quest in a funny way, we don't actually need to wait for the quest complete thing. We can immediately go to our menu and teleport straight out back into the guild. And then quest complete. Nice and easy. So want to go past the guild master.
That was a very impressive
Speak to this trader.
You've come to the right
And we're going to want to
place.
sell our ebony longbow. And that's going to be similar deal to in Balstone. It will unequip our old one, equip a new one. So sell our ebony longbow. Buy all of his potions. If you really want to, you can buy his health potions as well. But at this point, 15 should be more than enough. And then go back to buy weapons, ranged. And you're going to want to buy a master longbow.
Boy,
And you can see because we sold our other one, it is instantly equipped. So Berserk, go through here.
You have reached recognized status.
Speak to Maze, give all his cutscenes, and we can go to Witchwood. So, Guild Seal, Witchwood Colorscape. So skip this. Excuse me.
Rumor has it that someone
Berserk.
has a sword.
Break these barrels with your Sword of Aeons, and just carry on moving.
There is a temple in Witchwood that is supposed
So there's going to be a cutscene right here. Skip the cutscene. You don't actually need to fight this troll. You can completely avoid him. You don't need to fight him at all. But you're going to want to go right here. And this is easy to forget. Go right here and pick up these 2 potions. And then carry on. So that's going to be handy for the next quest. We're going to Witchwood Stones. So there's an optional clip you can do here. The high level strats do this clip. And if you really want to do it, you stand right here. So you embed yourself in here. And then summon, and then Assassin's Rush, and then that will clip you through. If you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. Carry on here. Ignore that I did that summon at all. Rush. And then you're going to want to hit these. Spell out his name, which is hits. So you're going to want to go front, back, left, right. Put your bow away. And go in here. It's only about 5 to 10 seconds slower. Completely optional if you want to do that or not. Skip the cutscene. Next quest. Go to the left. Leave the map. So similar to in our Orchard Farm, rather than going straight back to the guild, we can go to Knothole Glade. So we can teleport straight back there for our next quest.
You should return to the guild now. There's an important quest card waiting for you. It seems Knothole Glade is in some trouble.
And these maps are probably why I would recommend having Guildmaster help switched on for the first few runs, because he'll tell you when you're will energy is low rather than you having to keep track of it. Because he does is obviously very handy here, your will energy is low, which is like actually handy. So just go up this hill here, ignore these traders. As soon as there's a trader, you just roll past them. Now there's some breathing room, we can settle the rush. You see, as soon as there's enemies nearby, I see myself being targeted, I just roll. Completely fine. Rush. Now we've got some breathing room, we can move. So, as soon as we get here, it's marked the spot on our colour skate.
This is the village of Not Whole
We can go into our menu and go straight back to the guild.
Gates are barred for the moment. Come back to the guild and take a quest to help.
So as the guildmaster said, we're going to take the quest to help them. Map table, white Balverine, take quest. And we're going to be using our bow here for the first time in a while, so we're going to get some upgrades for our bow. So, will, physical spells, and we're going to get 1 level of multi-arrow. That's all you need. And then in skill, you're going to want 2 levels of accuracy. You don't need any more than that. This should be more than enough for what we need.
Make your shots more precise.
So if you want, you can put that on your hotbar. You don't have to though. Normally what I do is shift, scroll up, equip multi-arrow. So you can see we've got the 4 little orbs around us. That's how you know multi-arrow's up. Prepare our bow, and then we can teleport and start white Balverine. So go to Not Whole Glade, and immediately, basically as soon as we skip past the quest start thing, we're going to want to charge our bow. So skip scene, target, pull back our bow, and basically as soon as we kill this guy, we need to look away from him, and then another Balverine will spawn. This took a while for us to figure out oh, we have to look away. We thought it was RNG, but basically as soon as you look away, another one will spawn. So pull back our bow. As soon as the string is all the way pulled back, let go. Look away. Next one will spawn, target. If it takes 2 hits, that's completely fine. Look away. Look at the villagers. These guys will appear. Target. Multi-arrow. Look away. It can be a little bit difficult to hit this guy. It might take 2 hits, but that's completely fine. And you're going to want to be taking in all the XP you can, because XP is going to be super important for the next quest. So skip cutscene. Berserk. So here, it's basically going to say you're going to want to hit the white Balverine 10 times. It doesn't matter with what. The fastest way to hit him with what we have is lightning. So we're going to basically go shift, shift, left click, left click, left click. And just slam this 10 times. And he's going to go back. If you really want to, you can hit him with an arrow here and it'll skip the animation, but completely optional. It saves a couple of seconds, but if you're a little bit concerned about doing that, you don't need to. So, go up the hill here. Go up to the right side of the path. If you go up the left side, he won't spawn, so if you do, just go back round. He spawns right around there. Target him. Lightning, lightning, lightning. And he's going to go back. If you really want to, again, you can hit him with an arrow, not required. Skip the cutscene, so we get a silver augmentation. So this is going to be the biggest change from the main route. What we're going to do, F5 to go into our menu, if you really want to, inventory, weapons, ranged. We're going to augment our longbow with silver, and that's going to do a whole bunch of damage against white Balverine. We can take this one step further. So right now we've got our master longbow with a silver augmentation, and that's pretty good. What we can actually do though is we can reload this quest, do that same thing we just did again, and get a silver augmentation a second time, and that's going to make the next fight so much easier. You're going to wonder why anyone ever complained about it. So all you need to do for this trick, literally as soon as you've augmented your longbow, try to teleport to the guild. It's going to say you're attempting to leave a quest region. All you need to do is hit reload. That's going to put you back at the start of the quest, which seems slower. It only loses about a minute, but it's going to make the fight so much safer, which is really important because this fight will shape the rest of the run. And doing it this way makes it completely free. So we're at the start of the quest, so we can go back to Not Whole Glade and do the quest a second time. So we're going to do basically the same thing as we did up to that point, except we don't need multi-arrow now because we've got silver. So hit him, look away. If that misses, that's fine. Just keep a distance. Hit him, look away. Make sure you're taking the XP. Hit him, look away. And you don't need to look away. Just go up towards him, pick up his XP. And then just do the same thing as last time. Nothing else to it. And he's going to go back down the hill. You can follow him down if you really want to. And then get him with the bow.
That thing's skin is
Skip
too
cutscene. Same thing as we just did. Nothing to it. So skip cutscene, so we're back where we were before, so F5, range weapons, master longbow, augment. So we got 2 silver augmentations. That's gonna one-hit the white Balverine. That's how powerful it's gonna be. So we can berserk, hit down. And this time he only requires 5 hits. And the trigger for the cutscene starting is just to look away from him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, look away. As soon as it's out of camera, the cutscene will start. And then berserk. So the first thing, before you do anything, the first things you're going to want to make sure that all your potions are bound. So make sure your Ages of Skill, Might, and Will potions are all set, because you're going to need them. And if you don't do it, it's going to cost you a whole bunch of time, or possibly even the run. The other things you're not going to want is you're not going to want multi-arrow. If you've got multi-arrow up, just cancel it by firing 4 arrows. You don't want that. The other thing you don't want is multi-strike, because that's going to screw up your timing later. So if multi-strike is up, you can see, because the weapon has this sort of like a sort of an electric effect to it. When multi-strike is up, you can't gain combat multiplier. So that's going to be really, 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 really bad. So if you do have multi-strike up for whatever reason, the recovery is use summon, target your summon, and just kill him with it. And then that's going to get multi-strike off. That's the way I'd recommend. But for the most part, you're probably not going to have multi-strike up. But just in case that does happen, that's how you recover from it. Use a will potion. And we're going to enter here. So here's how we're going to do this fight. We're going to take out a bow, charge it, and then as we're charging it, we're going to move towards this sort of like opening here, go right into the corner, and then target. And then rather than shooting directly at him like that, we're going to shoot just a little bit above him. Like, if you want to, you can use the spike as a reference, but basically a little bit above him is okay. Release your arrow, and that's going to kill him. You can see we've killed him with 1 hit. Super easy. So skip all these cutscenes. It's going to spawn a whole bunch of enemies, and we can see we've got 37 combat multiplier here. So as soon as we've got 37 multiplier, we're going to use all our potions. That's going to give us a whole bunch of XP. If I go into the XP now, we've got like 88,000, or sorry, 83,000, 40,000, 40,000. That's a whole bunch to play with. We don't need to kill any of these Balverines. Don't need to go back here. We just go straight back into the menu and teleport to Not Glade. And that's why we put 2 silver augmentations on there, just to make that fight so much easier, and it gives you a whole bunch more XP. So speak to the chief.
So, yeah.
Skip cutscene. That's that quest done. Cool. So we're going to head back to the guild.
You have reached familiar
So
status.
the good news is, well, the good news and the bad news. The bad news is arena's probably the toughest part of the run. The good news is though, as soon as you're done with the arena, the rest of the run is completely easy. Like, I've been explaining a whole bunch of stuff so far, but as soon as you're done with the arena, things get so much easier, and the route is mostly identical to the one that we normally do in the main run, because it's mostly just movement, maybe a little bit of combat. But arena's the sort of like middle point, toughest part, but as soon as you get past that, the rest of the run is easy. But the stuff we've done so far is all almost set up to make sure that the arena is as easy as possible, it's as safe as possible. You still might need to practice it, you still might need to do it in do 1 or 2 sort of practice segments just to get a feel for the arena. But with what I'm doing here, it's going to be nice and easy. So I'm going to want to take this quest, take the arena. Then you want to go to the XP pedestal. Bear with me just 1 second. So what we're going to upgrade with all our XP, we're going to upgrade physique to level 5. So we're going to have 5 physique. You'll know you've got 5 physique because our strength will just barely not be filled. We're going to want to upgrade our speed to level 5 and our accuracy to level 4. You're going to want to upgrade, okay, so we're going to have Inflame. We're going to have that to level 3. Multi-Strike to level 3. Force Push, again to level 3. And then physical spells, we're going to have Physical Shield up to level 2. Berserk up to level 2. We don't need to touch Assassin's Rush. We're going to spend the rest of our XP on Magic Power. You can see we have a ton left, it's super safe. So we've got 4 Magic Power. So from here, we're going to actually do a glitch. And this glitch takes a few seconds, going to make the arena so much safer. It's going to save you like a minute. It's going to make the arena great. So attack spells, Inflame. This is a spell called the Hot Shot. Oh, this is a glitch called the Hot Shot glitch. Excuse me. And basically, what it is we're going to basically spam this "Are you sure" menu and the D key to upgrade. So we're going to basically, the timing for it is you're going to want to be pressing D and left click as much as you can. So if you see my input display, the best way to start is to press the D and left mouse button as quickly as you can. The slower your computer, the easier this is. I've got a pretty fast computer. It's on a my game's on an SSD, so it's a little bit tough, but it is definitely possible. And even if you take 30 seconds, it's going to be safer. It's going to be quicker than whatever you normally have to do. So are you sure? Yes. So go spam left click. Make sure your mouse is hovered over this yes. And you can see I double tapped it there. You can see there was sort of almost a delay. And now we've maxed out Inflame, so it's basically bought an extra level of it, but we're now in minus XP. That's completely fine. We're not going to get any more upgrades until the end of the arena, so that's fine. So we leave the menu and we've now got level 4 Inflame, and that's going to be super handy. So, from here you might want to organise your spells around a little bit. I know I will, so I'm going to move Inflame to there. I want to put Physical Shield. This is all completely optional, it's all whatever you want. If you really want everything on spell mode, that's fine. The main spells you're going to want though, if I move all of this, is you're going to want Summon on 3 different keys. 4 is recommended, but at least 3 is okay, because Summon has 0 cooldown, it's really easy to spam, and it gives a bunch of XP, so we can basically spam this in the arena and get a whole bunch of XP, and that's going to make the rest of the run so much easier. Another thing you'll want set to a familiar key is Force Push, because you're going to be using Force Push throughout the arena, because Force Push, it has an odd glitch in that when you Force Push a dead enemy, you'll still get the combat multiplier for that. So obviously there's got to be a lot of dead enemies on the floor in the arena, and that's going to be used to get a whole bunch of combat multiplier. So this is how I personally have it set up. I'm going to have multi-arrow there, Force Push there, everything else is fine, all of my other keys are set. I can go straight to Not Hold Glade from here, take on the arena. So from here, it's all just movement up until the arena. So leave the arena into Witchwood Lake. Berserk again. Now we have Force Push. Force Push can also give us some breathing when we're moving. As you can see right here, we can Force Push enemies back, and then that's going to knock them down. It's going to give you a bunch of breathing room for Assassin's Rush, but I'll touch more on that later. We're going to enter here. Speak to the left guy here. Berserk if we have to. Speak to the guy on the left here. Say yes. Let's go start the arena.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes.
Get this cutscene. Right. We go talk to his trader. The only thing we need from him is potions. Right now we've got 140 potions. That'll see us through to the arena and for most of the run. But you should be completely fine with this amount of potions unless you're spamming them after every time you use magic. But as you do the arena, you'll get a feel for it, but this is still quite a safe number. So we've done that, and from this point we've got a 1 minute waiting timer, so you can stop if you need to, get some water, take a break, but basically there's a timer counting up to a minute, after which a cutscene will start and you can enter the arena. As soon as the cutscene finishes, you're going to want to talk to this guy here. There is a strat that I normally do, which is that if you go around and use sneak, you can sort of push him down the stairs, and if you can push him all the way down to this corner here, that will save you a little bit of time, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It's a little bit more of an advanced strat, but now you can just wait, take a break, take a breather, prepare yourself for the arena.
Here, chuck us over a beer, would you?
If you're really quick, you can even play blackjack if you want to, as long as you leave within a minute. You can see the cutscene starts.
Play black.
You're going to want to go up here, talk to this guy. Make sure your physical shield is ready. That's going to be the most useful spell throughout this, because it's going to avoid you getting hit. The thing you're going to want to do in the arena, most of all, is make sure that your mana is high, so your shield doesn't break. If it does break like that, like if your mana reaches 0, it will do that. Make sure you potion, which is not that. And then put up your shield again.
Come on. Right.
Talk to him. Go start cutscene. So the first round is Wasp. What you're going to want to do is inflame them and force push their dead bodies. Because force push, as well as giving you combat multipliers I mentioned earlier, it also cancels animations because the Wasp's death animation is quite slow. So the time you want to do is keep force pushing until just before he says go. So if you really want to be safe, stop as soon as he says 1. 2, 1. So as soon as he says 1, then stop. Flame as soon as they get near. 3, 2, force push. You see how combat multiplier goes all the way up. 3, 2, 1. Again, just make sure your wheels kept up. Flame, force push. You can take in all that XP, pick up any potions if you want to.
Fighting like that earns
just keep force pushing.
The next round will be worth 500 gold.
As soon as that comes up, don't hit back to sales. Make sure that you're not force pushing. Make sure you hit next round. Like as soon as the black bars appear, stop force pushing. Skip cutscene. Immediately enter Berserk, that's just to make your movement a little bit faster, and then it's going to be the hops. And all of these guys one hit in the flame. So flame, try and get them in as close to the circle as possible. If you need to hit them in 2, that's completely fine. So get the ones on the right, the ones on the left, and then force push. See, I'm holding down the absorb XP button. This guy takes twin flames right here, as you can see. Twin flames. Make sure your wheels topped up because that guy can be kind of risky. Force pushing.
1, go!
Flame. Flame. Good. There you go. That was a pretty good round.
That's another 500 gold. 600 gold earned so far. There's another 1,000 up for grabs in the next round.
The next round is Balverine. So normally this is a pretty tough wave, but with Inflame 4 it's going to be one of the easiest. So skip cutscene, knock back Whisper just so she's not in your way. Corner there. As soon as these guys spawn, go near them, flame. They're all dead. Nice and easy. 3, 2, same thing here.
1, go!
Get sort of close to them all, flames. If you don't get them all in one hit, that's fine. Cancel animation and force push. So this wave is going to have a white Balverine. So we just go kill that really quickly before anything else. So kill that, then in flames.
3, 2.
See, all of them dispatched, nice and easy. If you need to use more in flames, that's fine. So First Balverine, kill it. Flame. Get out your bow. Make sure your wheel's topped up. Second Balverine. There we go. That's that wave done. Nice and easy. And then, as soon as he starts talking, as soon as the announcer starts talking, you can cancel all of his text by speaking to Whisper. So,
Having fun.
speak, skip. That's all of that text skip. And you're going to want to be doing this for the rest of the arena. So next round is going to be undead. So at this point, there's going to be a lot of waiting around because there's no dead bodies to force push. So this is where you're going to want to be spamming summon. So right now I've got it set to 6, 7, 8 and 9. So I'm going to want to be pressing those keys as quickly as possible. This route makes it super safe. You don't need to be spamming it like there's no tomorrow, but you want to be pressing them relatively quickly. So 6, 7 and 8 and 9. I have it. So the way I do it is that I have 6 and 7 with my index and middle fingers of my left hand, and then index and middle fingers of my right hand on 8 and 9, and I'm just basically pressing them like that in a sequence, and then you can just spam that in between the waves. You don't need to do it a lot because this one is super safe, but I'll show you how that works. So, oops, press one key. Make sure your wheels topped up, and kill all these wooden flames. You just want to be doing that in between the waves. Flame these guys, potion up. 6, 7, 8, 9. If that's on 3 keys, you can do it on 3 keys. This guy takes 2 hits, so just inflame him twice. If you're really quick, you can kill him while he's down with the inflame. If not, you can use force push to animation. So flame, force push, he immediately starts getting up. And then flame him again, force push to cancel. These guys take ages to fall down, so you're going to want to be animation cancelling them as much as you can. So flame, force push, flame, force push, flame, force push, flame, force push. Then get all the guys from the middle. There's only one guy left.
3, 2.
Some spam a little bit more if you want to. Flame, force push. Flame, force push. Flame, force push. Flame, force push. There's one guy left. There you go. Nice and easy. You can summon spam a little bit more, but if you think you're done, speak to Whisper as soon as the announcer starts talking.
The competition's hot.
Get the cutscene. Summon spam a little bit more if you want to. As soon as he says 1, start berserk. And then you go, well, kill all these guys with the flame. There are archers, which is a little bit risky, but they're mostly harmless in this way. And then you can start force pushing these guys again. So kill the archers first, and then kill all of the boss bandits. Oops.
3, 2, 1, go!
Flame. So this one you're just going to want to be inflaming as much as you can, because all these guys take a whole bunch of hits. And this one, if there's only one guy left, or if he's unconscious, you can just inflame him.
2,
That should do the job.
1,
He knocks down Whisper. So this one, you're going to want to kill the bandits with your sword. And then these guys, you can hit them with a Berserker Mode Strike. If you really want to, you can just spam the flame on them. But one Berserker Mode Strike will do the job. Because they're in combo, they do a whole bunch of damage. So skip past that. Next round. So as soon as I start this round, and then this guy should just take one Berserk Mode Strike and then a few swings. Roll to avoid the drop. Swing. You can see right now, XP wise, we have a whole bunch. This should be more than... Right now, we're basically set, so if you really want to, you can stop summon spamming. If you really want to, you could do it a little bit slower in the later waves.
Let's do some...
So next round,
things are getting better.
as soon as he says 1,
2, 1,
Berserk. So the sequence is we're going to want to Mold Strike, then Rush. Mold Strike, hit. Maybe get 2 hits in, then Rush. And that just resets the AI. So Mold Strike, Rush. Game audio could be a little bit quieter. I'll adjust that now. Just for your guys' sake. That should be better. Mold Strike. And then he's dead. So Berserk again. This bit is probably one of the risky ones. But Berserk, Mold Strike, Berserk, Mold Strike. As soon as he starts looking down, Rush again. This is probably going to be one of the riskiest waves, and you may lose your combat multiplier here. At that point though, as you saw, we have enough XP, so that's completely fine. That's done. So as soon as he starts talking, skip that cutscene. So this fight here is probably going to be the hardest fight in the game. It's quite difficult to do. There's a really good tutorial by Clean Sarah, which I will be linking in the description, rather than describing it in detail here, because I only get one shot at this. If I mess up the explanation, that's it. So I'm going to link that tutorial. You're going to want to watch that. It's going to have a whole bunch of great information. Slightly out of date, but it's going to have everything you need in it. But what you're going to want to do, as soon as he says 1, Berserk, Mold Strike, stand right here. Stand right in between his legs there, and you're going to want to keep swinging at him. Just keep swinging at him. He's going to burrow into the ground. All of these guys are going to spawn. You can inflame. If you run out of multiplier or whatever, you can summon spam here if you want to. You've got plenty of time to wait. So if not, you're just waiting again. Standing in between his pincer and his first legs. And that just avoids you from getting hit. Swing, swing, swing. Just go burrow into the ground. Same thing again. And we're just going to do the same thing one last time. And then as soon as he unburrows, get into position. You can see I have to sort of adjust myself a little bit because he makes a lot of little movements, but if you want to just keep swinging just so Whisper doesn't take the kill, if you want you can force push her back. Make sure your shield's up, your multi strike's up. And it's going to be the final fight, which is nice and easy. So speak to Whisper, skip the cutscene, it's going to be the Whisper fight. So Berserk to knock her down, roll towards her, hit her once with the multi strike. And then just give her a little bit of space. As soon as she starts throwing a grenade, rush towards her. If she does that, just rush towards her. And then hit her. And that's the fight done. Really easy. You don't need to kill her, you can just carry on. Leave the area. And that's the arena done. That's the hardest part of the run done. From here on out, if you've made it this far, congratulations. It's going to be smooth sailing from here. So skip all these cutscenes. Quest completed, well done. So here's a mistake that a lot of people make, myself included. You think, okay, I want to go straight back to the guild and take my next quest. You don't want to do that. You're going to want to go to Barrowfields first. Guild Seal. Even though it says guild, Heroes Guild, Barrowfields is the way you want to go. In a test run of this yesterday, I went to the wrong spot. So Barrowfields. Everyone's going to make that mistake at some point in their lives. If you do, just go back to Barrowfields. It loses a bit of time. It's not the end of the world. Because you have to talk to Teresa here to get your next quest. So as soon as that cutscene's done, now you can go to the guild. By default, it highlights arena entrance. You don't want to go there. You want to go down one into the Heroes Guild. So go forwards. Rescue the Archaeologist. Cancel that. And then want to go experience. So we have a whole bunch of XP to play with. You see, we have so much. So the upgrades we're going to want is Physique up to level 7. To max it out. Speed maxed out. Accuracy maxed out. Inflame is already maxed out. Mold Strike You guessed it, maxed out. Force push, maxed out. Slow time, we're only going to want either 1 or 2, and that's going to come in handy later. We don't want any more than that. You can get it if you want, but it'll be a little bit slower. It's not going to end the run if you get it, but 1 or 2 is all you need. Don't worry about summon, so just force push and slow time, 1 or 2. Physical spells, you're going to want it. Physical shield to 3. You can't max out because we're not good enough. Berserk, we're only going to have it to 3. We're not good enough, or not evil enough to max it out. That's fine. Assassin's Rush to max. Multi-arrow to max. 6, 7. You can see we have a whole bunch of XP. We almost have like half our XP left over. So you can see how safe the arena is now. But in the instance that you got hit a whole bunch, you have no XP left. Here's the sort of upgrade path that I'd recommend of if you do need to like skip out on stuff. Here's the stuff to skip out on. The first thing, force push. You only need level 3. You might even be able to get away with level 2. But actually we don't even get level 2, so we don't need force push technically, but if you do have the XP you can get it. That's the first one. So force push, number 1. Multi-arrow, number 2. Level 3 is fine. It will only affect 1 or 2 fights, and it may mean you need to just shoot another arrow. That's fine. Same thing with accuracy. Accuracy is very expensive. You can see it costs 81,000. So if you want to skip out on that, that's going to save a whole bunch of XP. Level 5 or 6 of accuracy should be okay, and that's going to save you like 100k. Magic power, this one I wouldn't really recommend just because it's going to make potion count a little bit tight, but if you do need to, level 6 is fine. And then the very, very, very last case is physique, level 6. Going to give you a whole bunch of XP, but at that point, if you've made it this point, you've basically like only upgraded like 3 things. So if you've reached this point, for the most part, the only things you'd probably need to get rid of is force push, multi-arrow, accuracy, maybe magic power. But if you've got everything like that, cancel out, we're done. So we're going to go to Bowerstone, because now Bowerstone North is unlocked. So we want to roll up here, up the stairs here. He's going to let you into Bowerstone North.
Oh, hello there.
So just enter there. You might need to go a little bit right there because by default it points you at the wall. So we're going to do the last little bit of trading we have to do here. So talk to this guy. We're going to want to sell. We're not going to sell actually. We're going to buy all of his diamonds. So he's got 65 diamonds. And we're going to buy all of his potions. That's going to have us at 105. We're going to sell all of our rubies if we got any, all of our diamonds. That's going to put us at about 85,000. If we need to, we can buy and sell one more time. But our goal item that we want to get is the Solar's Greatsword. It costs 72,000, but we've got 13k left, so nice and easy.
You won.
As soon as you do, roll backwards. So that's going to be you for the rest of the game.
We're all in terrible danger.
So rescue the Archaeologist. You don't need to fight any of these guys, we can just avoid them. Physical shield, berserk. Force push them back just to get some breathing room. As soon as they spawn, force push them back. Make sure they're well away from you. Gives you breathing room to Assassin's Rush. So berserk here. Again, make sure you're potioned up and you're sort of like at least at half mana sort of thing. Force push here. So we're going to take a slight detour here. We're going to want to kill this guy, but before we come back down, we're going to want to get a golden carrot right here. If you want to, you can get this first if you really think you're going to forget it. I'm going to get it first here. I'm going to force push, break all these barrels. I'm going to get the golden carrot, and that's going to come in handy later. If you don't get it, there is a backup later, so it's not run ending if you don't get it. But go past all these guys, force push if you need to. Kill this guy with a multi-strike hit. He only takes 1 hit. Berserk. Force push to get them all back into Gibbet Woods. The good news is, from this point on, there is very little in the way of like things to know. Like it's mostly just doing the quests. But I'll just sort of guide you through it still. I'm not going to go completely radio silent, don't worry. The good thing to know is, from here on out, very, very nice, very easy, smooth sailing. If you've made it past the arena, congratulations, that's basically the run done. So skip this cutscene. So if you want to, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put slow time here and multi-arrow here. If you want to, you can slow time here, because basically our goal is we want to kill the last 2 minions at the end of the map. We can't quite see them. There's 2 minions at the end of the map. We want to get to them before any other minions reach the end of the pier, because if any other minions reach the end of the pier, you have to kill all of them, because the Archaeologist won't find it safe. But from here, kill this one, cutscene starts. You can do that without slow time, but slow time just makes it safer. Skip that cutscene. Don't worry about running to the end of the map. Just go straight back to the guild. We're going to teleport and teleport back. That's just going to put us, because there's only one entrance to this map. It's going to put us at the start. It's going to save you a bunch of movement. It's nice. So go back in. Prison path. And we're going to leave, just roll backwards into the map. We go back sort of the way we came into Litchfield Graveyard. This area is a little bit finicky with movement. You can see it sort of eats your rushes a little bit. Push back all these guys with force push. Just carry on to the right here. Oops. So Litchfield Graveyard, this bit is probably one of the more annoying parts for when you're sort of grinding out the run, because there's a lot of RNG. But when you're starting out, it's quite a straightforward quest. So I'm going to go here, start the cutscene. So make sure you don't speak to the graveyard, gravekeeper. Make sure this is selected for 100% sure, and pick this up and then speak to him.
Hello.
Because it's going to put you right here, and if you forgot to get it, you're going to have to go all the way back and come all the way back. So as soon as he opens this, you can kill him. That's going to help with movement. Just roll past here. Undead are going to be constantly spawning, so don't worry about trying to Assassin's Rush. It's probably not going to work. But you're going to want to dig this grave here. Third one from the right. Also, fourth one from the right. It's the first one you come in. You dig it up. It's going to give you one of the pieces of Nostro's gear. In this map, you're probably going to want to be just berserking and rolling. Going to the tomb here, that gets another piece of Nostro's gear. So next up is fishing, and fishing is basically just a game of red light, green light. If you've played Fable before, you know how fishing works. It's quite annoying, it's a big RNG part. You're probably going to hate it as you do more runs, but you got to do it for now. So reel it in, play it a little bit safe. Wait a little bit, reel it in. Wait a little bit for it to go green, reel it in. As soon as it says careful, the line's about to slap, make sure you're not anywhere near clicking. And then you've caught it. Again, if you've played Fable before, you know how to fish. It's not that difficult, but it's just a little bit annoying, especially with the RNG aspect. You see, undead constantly spawning in front of us. There's no point in Assassin's Rushing. Just reach here, interact with the tomb, and then enter here. Same thing as before. You're going to want to mostly be berserking and rolling here. Just roll, don't worry about rushing at all. Keep rolling. Go past this guy. Force push if you need to, if they're like directly in your way. Up the stairs here. Prepare your multi-strike ready to hit him. The berserk is probably going to wear off here, so berserk again. And just hit him once. And then that cutscene is going to play. Just go up the stairs. You should be able to rush there. Cool. So get our bow out ready, because we're going to be killing some undead. So these guys can only be harmed within the circle, so just sort of go near them just to sort of aggro onto them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as soon as you do, start walking backwards so these guys here start aggroing on. 6. Just wait for one guy. This is a little bit of RNG, but you'll get the hang of it. Put away your bow. What you're going to want to do, as soon as these guys spawn, slow time, and then inflame twice. And that just means they don't fall out of the circle. So you're going to want to slow time, inflame twice. And that's quest done. And just enter this map here. You see I rush forward just before the cutscene started, but if you need to, you can just roll down the stairs, skip the cutscene. It's just going to be movement from here. There's not really anything to the next few maps. As soon as you enter this map here, they're all going to spawn, so just in flame, and then the barrier will disappear. Just carry on going. It's sort of good practice to potion as soon as you're done berserking for the most part, or as soon as you see it sort of getting low. And interact with the door. So we're going to rush, take the right path. It's going to spawn Nymph, and just going to start rolling. Keep an eye on her on the map. If you do backdash towards her, that's fine. It's a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Touch this door, and go right to the center of this map, and then just inflame twice. That should kill all of them. So we're going to rush a little bit more in these maps, but not quite a lot, because we can force push these guys.
Stop right there! What the hell? Get him!
How'd you get down here?
I'm dead. No.
Just go up these stairs, interact with the door. Oh, and then we're going to interact with this, roll towards this door here, and leave. So back to the underground passage, back the way we came. You're not going to want to force push here, because if you do, this starts that text box, and that's going to cancel you if you're in Berserk. If you're in Berserk, it will cancel you, so just Berserk and roll past all these guys. If there's a little bit of breathing room, you can Assassin's Rush if you really want to, and then that cutscene's going to start. So from here, you're in prison, and there's nothing to do. You can just wait here for about 2.5, 3 minutes. There's another break. Go for it. This is like known as the pee break part of the run. You can take a whiz, get some water, get a snack sort of thing, take a breather. But you're just waiting for these guys' dialogue to finish.
You should keep all that energy for later. You'll need it then. Oh, and don't try any of that funny will stuff. It won't work in here. The boss made sure of that.
So this map here is the reason we play normally on French, just because these guys talk a little bit faster. English is the slowest language, French is the fastest. There's other languages like Russian, German, Italian, Japanese, but French is the fastest, but this is literally the only change that French makes. So if you want to save 34 seconds later on, you can learn it in French, save some time here. But if not, English, totally fine.
You're that chicken chaser, ain't you? Beat the arena and let the big prize go to save pretty little Whisper, didn't you? Don't get your company often. What'd you do? Kill a mare? Slice up some pigs? Bet the warden can't believe his damn luck. It's his birthday today, you know. The vicious bastard. Every year, he has us dragged out of our cells, shows us a little sunshine so we know what we're missing, and sticks us back in. Doesn't do it out of the kindness of his heart either. They race us round the courtyard and take bets on who'll win. Then the winner gets a trip to the warden's office and, well, what goes on in there is too cruel to mention. Still, at least you get a good look at his place. And there's more than books and furniture in there.
Look lively, scum. Time to move out. It's race time, and you'd better put on a good show. Some of us have bet a lot of money on you. Win, and we like you. Lose, and you get a round in the torture chamber. That sounds fun. Yes, sounds fun. Let me hear it.
So as soon as the fade out starts, just start skipping cutscene.
3, 2, 1.
As soon as this whistle blows, you can start rolling. So you're going to want to sort of go past the guard here, go up these stairs, and basically just follow the guards. There's a little bit of sharp turn here, so if you want to stop and like start running there, that's fine. So if you want to do that and start running, that's completely fine, and then start rolling again. Small shortcut here if you take these steps. You want to run the corners, that's fine. Because there's a lot of tight turns here, you might want to practice this a little bit. Okay, skip this cutscene. Skip this cutscene. And then go into stealth mode and immediately start crouch walking, sort of keeping as tight of a corner as possible. If it gets a little bit too close like that, you can stop a little bit. But you can interact with that, and then as soon as you do, make a noise. And that's going to reset you to the start rather than having to wait for it to run out and then walking back. But just interact with any book, it doesn't matter, it will always fail. It's not RNG, luckily. You're always going to fail it first year, get it second year. The only alternative is if you mess up the first race, if you lose the first race, it'll skip straight to this. You won't have to do the Warden's poems, and you'll get the book first try. But it doesn't matter which book. You can pick any book you like, and all of them work. And this is basically going to be the exact same thing as I just did for the next sort of 2 minutes. So if you want to skip ahead, you're more than welcome to. Move ahead 2 minutes, you won't miss much. It's literally going to be the exact same thing as I just did.
Heartless pigs.
Look lively, scum. Time to move out. It's race time, and you'd better put on a good show. Some of us have bet a lot of money on you. Win, and we like you. Lose, and you get a round in the torture chamber. That sounds fun. Yes, sounds fun. Let me hear it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
This is my year. Get a move on, you ugly maggot! That way, you useless filth! That way, you great big Balverine turd!
I'm dying here.
That way, you useless filth! That way, you great big Balverine turd! Move it, move it, move it! Keep running, scum! Move it, move it, move it! You again.
The same thing as before. Start crouch walking. Keep sort of as close to the books as you can.
Oh, grey.
You do it right, you should be just barely enough. If you want to, you can wait. It saves you a whole bunch of time rather than getting caught and having to do it all over again. Skip the cutscene. Get the prison cell key, and now we can escape.
Lost his key.
You don't actually have to wait for the door to fully open. As soon as you press space, it has no collision. You can roll right through the gate if you want to. You want to go up these steps, collect down missing belongings. Oops.
There's the criminal.
So we're going to open this chest here. Make sure you're not selecting any other chest. If you do, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit slow. So we've got our missing belongings. As soon as we do, what I'm going to do here is equip the Solus Greatsword, because it's going to come in handy for the next few fights. There's another spot you can equip it if you do forget. You just basically run past that guard, and now we can use magic again. And we can pause push now, and our mother doesn't mind. She's a little bit angry, but it doesn't start dialogue.
What the hell? Get him!
take the left path here, because undead spawn if you take the right path. So just go down this water, contract the door. It just avoids any enemy spawns.
Oh no, you don't!
One thing I almost forgot to mention, by the way, you can cancel like the Berserk starting and ending animation with a block or a roll or something. So as soon as your Berserk ends, you can just roll to cancel it. And when your Berserk starts, rather than standing there and waiting for the whole animation, you don't have to. So what you're going to want to do, as soon as you get here, make sure your multi-area is set up, rush this way, and then you're going to want to inflame these tentacles, get as many as you can in a single hit, so ideally stand in the middle here. These guys take one hit, I was just a little bit late there. As soon as it comes near, inflame. As soon as the head comes out, target it and just release an arrow. If you've got all your upgrades from here, this should be the first hit. But if you really want it, you can hit him a couple of times just to make sure. Same thing as before. Inflame once. These guys take 2 inflames. I just hit 3 times there because I hadn't fully spawned yet. 1, 2. Get your bow out, charge it up. Target. Release. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure you're at the bit with the gold marker on it. It's very easy to go to the wrong side accidentally. I've done it before. But we're done with prison, which is good. So we're just going to make our way back to Ancient Colours Gate. But before we do that, before we do anything, you can see it's currently almost nighttime, so we're going to eat a golden carrot. Let's go take it to daytime. So go to Barrowfield, so it's now daytime. I'm also going to make sure the shops are open when we get to Hook Coast. But if you don't, there is a backup you can do. Just avoid all these guys. So, rush forward.
You need to get to the Colours Gate in the middle of Darkwood.
There's not really much to this. You're basically just inflaming undead. Just make sure you're keeping as many of them in the in one inflame as you can. So 1, 2. There we go. Nice and easy. So if you did forget to use your golden carrot, you can go into the tavern there and sleep. But if not, just go in here, find the trader, and buy all their potions. And that's going to see us through to the rest of the game. 119, that should be more than enough. If you forgot to, you can just go in here, go up the stairs and sleep, and then go back down. Slower, but it is a recovery. Going to want to be rolling up these stairs. And then go back to the guild. As soon as you do, go past the guild master.
Are you on your way? Something isn't right here. What? No.
As an emergency, if you are super low on potions, you can sleep at Hook Coast a few times and then buy potions from the general cellar there. If you're really not sure about potions. Just as you go down these stairs, it's a little bit difficult.
I have a quest card from your mother. Quickly, come to the map room and speak to me.
A little bit difficult to maneuver through here. Speak to a guildmaster.
Good win.
And if you haven't equipped your Solar's Greatsword already, you're going to want to equip it right now. So go into the menu, go to Hook Coast, but not before equipping your Solar's Greatsword, I hope. So coming up here is the maze fight, and again, there's a really good tutorial by Clean Sarah which explains exactly how this works. But I'm just going to show you the nice and easy way of doing it. It's slower, but it's a hell of a lot safer. But it is a little bit tough. So we're just going to wait for the Guildmaster to chant. It's funny, in French he does a different bit of chanting. Obviously we're running in English now for the sake of this tutorial, but normally you would be running the game in French. So this fight here, you're going to want to get ready, skip the cutscene, make sure your Berserk is up, Multi-Strike is up, hit him as he's getting up, hit him with a few inflames if you want to, and ideally, best case, he's going to skip that phase, but again, watch Clean Sarah's tutorial video. I'll link that in the description because it will describe it way better than I can. As soon as your Berserk's physical shield wears off, knock him down with Berserk. Try and hit him as he's getting up. If you can't hear him, that's fine. If he goes up into the lighthouse, that is okay. It does happen. Just break this with force push.
I should have killed you then.
Just got his physical shield up. If you want, you can use iframes with Assassin's Rush. And if you're really like, if you're at this point and he's teleports down to the lighthouse, you can just kill him with a narrow shot. If you do have multi-arrow left and you are using that strat, make sure you get rid of your last shot so you have no multi-arrow left. And you're going to want to teleport back to the guild. Again, the video will explain it way better than I can. It will show you the optimal way, the not optimal way, how to do it. That is basically the slow way of doing it, but it's there if you want it. Go to this thing, and this quest is mostly just going to be movement.
Jack has to be stopped.
Skip cutscene.
Hero, I mustn't see you at the guild.
Really not much to it. Just make sure you're taking like straight lines, force pushing back on any enemies. Go up here. Assassin Rush. Cutscene starts. Rush. Just rush to the end of here, and then cutscene starts. This one you're probably going to be rolling more than rushing because of all the spawns and stuff. That was risky. Interact with the door here. It's my quickest one in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. By now your Berserk's probably worn up. It's not worth picking up another one. You can just rush and roll all the way down. Berserk again.
Jack has made it to the Gibbet Hill focus site. He must be stopped.
Just force pushing enemies as I go along. It's probably a good idea, if you've not already, to put up multi-arrow at this point. Just because it's going to make the Jack of Blades fight a whole bunch easier. If you don't do it now, you can do it during the fight if you really want to. But there if you want to. Just make your way, go to that little sort of nook and cranny, and then the cutscene will start. Skip all of that. So if you need any more upgrades, if you need anything, you could do it now. If you've got haven't got multi-arrow up, put it up now. Skip the cutscene. Go say Battle Jack of Blades, so we're going to enter the Chamber of Fate and fight him with the sword that he's been... Actually no, we're not fighting him with the Sword of Realms, we're using Solus, but that's okay. You can't bring a bit of irony to this fight. fight. It's nice and easy. Berserk, kill all these guys with multi-strike. One multi-strike will kill them all. Then you're going to want to hit Jack once and just make sure he's down just by hitting him. But if you've made it that far, if he rushes away, that's okay. That means he's started second phase. So we're going to want to pull out our bow and just hit him twice. Again, for safety, you're probably going to want to hit him one more time. So, pull out the bow, target him, wait till it's fully back, once, wait till it's fully back, twice, done. Nice and easy. Skip cutscene, and you're going to want to hit your sister, target her, swing, dead. And the reason this is done is because it's going to give us, that's that done. Because it's going to give us evil points, which is going to allow us to max out Berserk for. So we've got 98 potions, more than enough, so we're going to go straight back to the guild. There's going to be a nice little puzzle there. So on the left, you can see the solutions to all the puzzles, and that will be included in the notes proper. Don't actually interact with the quest there. Just go into here. If you've missed any upgrades, you can get them now. But Berserk 4 is all you need, if not. That's going to make fights a lot easier. And if you haven't already, actually no, don't worry about it. Just leave the map. It's going to take you here and the cutscene's going to start. So there's going to be a little bit of a puzzle. The solutions to the left there are the best ones. But you'll learn it as you go along. I think everyone has messed them up at some point in their PB. There's a little bit of a trick you can do here. It doesn't cost any time, so don't worry, you can skip this cutscene. What you're going to want to do, as soon as this quest start thing is, you're going to want to hold your block key, because that's going to, like, I'm not exactly sure why, but it's going to reset your movement a little bit. It just means you can walk a whole lot faster. It saves about 10 seconds. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. So hold R, press escape. You can see I'm blocking. I'm going to solve these puzzles using the solutions to the right. This one is the easiest.
That's good.
Again, everyone has screwed this up at some point, so don't worry about getting this perfect the first time round.
It's your time now. We don't want to make any silly mistakes, do we? Oh no! Does anyone else have sweaty palms? No, hero! Don't kill me! Kill us! No, not me! The others!
I ask only for clemency for me and my fellow prophets. Ah, a noble move.
And obviously in those notes, L is left, R is right, U is up, D is down.
Thank you, young man.
Last one.
No, it's got to be sun signs, you idiot, not moons. You bastard. You just don't care, do you?
Done.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, it'll probably take you a while to get used to it, but it's not the worst. Skip that cutscene, quest done. So at this point, because we killed our sister, it's already equipped a Sword of Aeon, so we're going to want to re-equip Solus Greatsword and teleport to Hook Coast, where our next quest will be. Let's skip this cutscene. Berserk. We're going to want to go up to the lighthouse. The movement in the lighthouse is a little bit finicky. It's probably my least favourite part of movement, because you have to go up the stairs. It's a little bit finicky. Don't worry about Assassin's Rushing. Just try and roll. So roll. Turn right. Roll. If you really want, you can run up the stairs. It's not the end of the world if you do. Make sure you got physical shield and multi-strike ready, and make sure you're ready to slow time. So as soon as this starts, slow time, Berserk. And you want to go towards this guy, hit him with a multi-strike, and that should kill him. And as soon as he does, start going away from the pier, start rushing towards the general store. Fire up your multi-strike again, for a little bit.
More summon.
Let's go put you right in front of him, so put away your sword, faster movement. Of course, push all these guys back, target him. He's gonna die. You don't need to worry about killing any of these guys because they all die themselves.
You have reached
Skip all these cutscenes. That's that quest done. Skip cutscene. Go up the stairs.
Hey, teleporters are up and running. Nice one.
I'm going to pause here. This quest, or this fight is probably the biggest example of failed thresholds because you have to wait for him to punch in the ground 12 times before you can kill him. So, what you're going to want to do is go right up to him with Assassin's Rush, stand back, berserk, and then wait for him as soon as he does this. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, one sec. I did that completely wrong. You're going to want to hit him a few times. As soon as he reaches that health point, I'm sorry I've not done this fight in quite a while. So as soon as he starts doing that, count 12, 4, 5, 6. Make sure his health is as low as it can get. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should be just as your berserk wears out, you can kill him. Very sorry for that, I completely screwed that up. But you want to go up close to him, hit him, and then wait for 12 punches. Oops. So, go to the right. Just gonna be moving throughout here. Gonna make your way to Snowspire. So don't worry about Necropolis just yet. I'm going to Snowspire. Rush. Take a little bit of a tight corner there. Up these steps. There'll be a thing with Briar. And you're going to go a little bit to the right, and you're going to want to go this way. You see where these flags are, you're going to want to go that way. And if you're really not sure, just follow the minimap. Because I know it took me a while to sort of get my bearings there. So skip all these cutscenes. And now we can go to Snowspire. Oh, sorry, Necropolis. So we're going to go as soon as that cutscene's ended. Go to Archon Shrine. So Necropolis, we're basically just digging up graves to find a grave with the correct names. Or like we get basically pick up 3 sort of stones for the quest. The graves are shuffled every time you enter it. It's completely random. We've done testing. It's completely random. But the best way to tell which graves are the right ones to dig at, is first of all, open your minimap and you'll see green dots. So the green dots are ones which are potentially ones. And you're going to interact with everyone with a green dot. If you're not sure if it's a green dot or not, just interact with it anyway, just in case. So there's three names of the graves you're looking for. There's T. Fung, I Love It, and George W. These are the ones you're going to want to dig. So let's check all these. So Jeff the Brute, nope. Dominic, nope. Villa, nope. Okay, make our way down here. P. Timmons, none of these, okay. This is not great RNG. Interact with this, nope. T-Funk. Okay, that's our first one. So we're going to dig here. Make sure you're standing directly over that grave. So I've got Marok's tablet. So interact with this one. No. This one, yes. So Euron's tablet. And then check. Should be not that one. Not that one. This is not great RNG, unfortunately, but it'll be you'll get used to it. So one. Here we go, George W. right there. So it's not the worst RNG, but it's not the best. It's definitely not optimal by any means, but for our first run, I think you're more focused on other things rather than good RNG. Just to note, there's one grave here that's very difficult to read. You see, I can't actually do it. You have to sort of stand a little bit there. There's only a brief window where you can interact with it. But in most cases, if you're not sure if it's there or not, it's best to just dig. rather than having to try and fiddle around and checking the grave. It's easier to just dig there. So get your multi-strike ready, skip the cutscene. Okay, Berserk, you're going to want to kill these minions. 1, 2, and then rush. Kill this one, kill this one. Normally you'd have to wait for them to die, but I got a weird animation skip. That's quest done. Nice and easy. If you do mess it up, it's not the worst thing in the world. Again, with Berserk, you cannot die, so don't worry about losing all your health and dying, because I know you do take a lot of damage there. You've also got a health augmentation in your Solar's Greatsword, so that means that you don't have to worry about health as much as well. Let's go up these stairs. Mostly want to be rolling up them because they eat your rushes. Skip the cutscene. So we're almost at the end of the game. There's only a couple of minutes left. We have to kill 3 enemies and then Jack of Blades again. So going to teleport to Archon Shrine. A big mistake people do is go straight to Knothole Glade. Don't go to Knothole Glade yet. Go to Archon Shrine first.
Are you there?
Because there's a cutscene.
Meet me at the Archon Shrine in the Northern West.
So skip this scene.
Glad you're...
As soon as the scene is done, go into your menu and go to Knothole Glade. This fight is probably going to be one of the easiest fights in the game. So skip this cutscene, make sure your multi-strike is up and your mana is full. Punch him. Berserk, roll backwards. Hit him once, he's going to get up. Hit him again, fight done. Nice and easy. That's that done. Skip scene, that's done. So we're going to teleport to Archon Shrine now and we're going to fight Briar.
Do you have that arena sold? Come back to the shrine and we'll see if it works. I hope this thing works.
So skip cutscene. As soon as the cutscene is over, force push her, that'll aggro her, it'll start the fight. And then as soon as she teleports away, go into Berserk. Sort of stand in the middle here. Because basically she's going to summon a bunch of clones, and you're going to want to force push twice to get rid of them all. Find the real one on your minimap, and just hit her. Just going to do that 2 more times. So you stand in the middle. Force push twice. Hit her. Go back in the center. Your Berserk should wear out about here. You can see here. Force push twice. Got close to her. Oh. Make sure she's dead. You can cancel her animation with force push if you want to, and that saves a couple of seconds. Okay, so we're going to take a short detour here. So we're going to go Guild's Hill, and we're going to go to Lichfield Graveyard, okay? Normally, before, or like not normally, but before we used to fight the Guildmaster because we thought it was faster. But it's actually faster to fight Nostro, so we're going to go to here. Don't go to the guild, whatever you do. Don't go to the guild yet. Go to Lichfield Graveyard first. You can see there's no enemies there. We've got plenty of room to rush and roll. We're going to make it all the way right to the end of this bridge. As soon as you touch this torch, you're going to want to go to the guild now. And that's going to basically place us. Make sure, again, it's selected Archon Shrine. Make sure you go to the guild. And this is going to mean, once this cutscene is done, we're going to go straight back here and it's going to put us right to the end of the map where we need to be. It's going to save us a whole bunch of time. So, menu, other, Guild Seal, Old Graveyard Path. Puts us here, and you can see we're right at the end of the map. All we need to do, we don't even need to look around, just interact with the door. That's going to take us to the Circle of the Dead, and we're going to fight Nostro. So skip the cutscene. Berserk. Get ready, your multi-strike ready. So Nostro's gimmick is that he can only be hit once you kill an undead, in which case he'll be vulnerable for a few seconds. So you're going to want to inflame just about here. So find where the enemies are, inflame nearby, hit Nostro. If you're lucky, you can get him in. He takes 2 Berserk multi-strike hits to die. If you get him in 2 cycles, that's okay. It only loses a couple of seconds. So go here, flame, target him. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that wasn't quite enough, so puts more undead, and he's dead. Nice and easy. Very easy fight. skip the cutscene. That's Nostro done. We've got one fight left. And then you're done with the whole game. That's the whole run. You can see we've got plenty of potions. You've got about 50 potions to play with. So even if you used a whole bunch at the arena, you should have enough. But again, if you are really, really low, like if you're out of potions at this point, go to Oakvale, sleep for a couple of days, and then grab potions from the guild in Oakvale, and then you should have enough. So, Berserk, go straight forward into Argon's Folly. Make sure your will is full, your physical shield is up, and your multi-strike is up. Because this fight is potentially very difficult. If you do it perfectly, it's not. I'm going to show you how not to do it perfectly, just for the sake of the demonstration. Just so you know what to do. So, ideally you'll be berserking, targeting him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just keep hitting him. As soon as he starts to attack, rush. If you do take a hit, that's fine, just make sure your shield is back up. I'm going to stop here just to show you what happens if you do screw it up. So, if you take too long, he's going to fly up. Kill with these enemies if you really want to. Make sure your will is fully up. If you want to get your bow out, that's going to really hurt, but just make sure you're in berserk and you won't die. So you can see I'm at 0 health, but I'm not dying. So worst case scenario, if this is what happens, this is how to recover from it. You can kill this guy if you really want to. What is he doing? You can rush to cancel it. You'll probably take a hit here. Also nice, did I just get stuck? Okay, if that happens, I've never seen that happen before. Just summon clip out. But skip that cutscene. Click left click to throw away his mask. Skip the cutscene, and you are done. That is the run. That is Fable Lost Chapters. So, skip that cutscene. And that's the point where the time would stop. You've got an auto splitter, so that's normally where it would end. You can skip all that. You don't have to watch the credits. They're 11 minutes long, so I won't waste your time with them. I'm just going to skip back and go back to the main menu. So cool. That is the whole of any percent. And again, the route is very modular. You can add and remove bits if you need to. I'd say starting out, a good goal for your very, very first run is under 2 hours real time. I'm not sure game time what that would be. Maybe an hour, under an hour and 50, but that's a good sort of starting goal. If you are over, that's completely fine. The game is very easy to learn. It's very forgiving in most areas. There's only a few areas which are quite difficult, but you'll sort of learn it as you go along. And as you get better and better, it'll become easier and easier. Your times will start flying down, and you'll be flying up the leaderboards as soon as you know it. So if you've made it this far, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope this has been helpful to you. If at least one person follows this tutorial and gets a run in, I'll consider that job done. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions or anything, if you want any advice, any questions that it's like, I'm new, I have no idea where to start, the best place to go is the Fable Discord. So if you go to speedrun.com/FableTLC, all as one word, no spaces, no underscores or anything, speedrun.com/FableTLC, that is the best place to go to, because you've got resources there, you've got the link to our Discord there, and the Discord is 100% the best place to go to if you want any advice, because we're all in there. Myself, Clean Sarah, Avadis, Cannibal, Rahim, we're all in there. We're all more than happy to help any new runners with anything you need. So if you do need anything, that is the place to go. But that is the tutorial. That is any percent done. Thank you very much for watching. Again, there'll be timestamps and links to everything in the description, assuming this is on YouTube. But for now, that'll be it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.